Yeah, I got a brother with eggs, but he lives too far away. He got the little chicks. Yeah, 70 count was 6.99. Yeah, you can get that. It's outrageous. Now, some of the things like if you go out to eat and stuff, but are you really? Prices are coming down, and if they don't bring the prices down, um, yeah, Harris is going to do something about it. Thank you, Royal. Hey, Meredith. So, yeah, it's all going to come out in the wash. She's going to do something about the cost of rentals. We're going to do something with that. Oh, Lord Tater Tot, y'all got to make up names for people because you don't have no facts. It's you make up names about two people that's not done anything wrong because your leader that you want to be president is a felon and he's a con man, a grifter, a fraudster, an SAer. Yeah, you have to think of something. And now he's even getting where he talks like this. He's a convicted felon, Delarian. Do you want me to bring it up where he's convicted? A 34 count convicted felon. He absolutely is. Out of New York. Did you have to go out and come back in?
I did. That was kind of weird. How are you?
I'm good. The whole app's been freaky. I can't if I change my screen, you know how I like to bring up documents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It screws it all up. I can't ever go back to where it was.
I ended up just turning my phone off and turning it back on, and yeah, something's goofy's going on. But
Are you in Texas?
no, I'm in Illinois actually.
Because I swear you sound just like you would be one of the Owen brothers.
Well, I've got family down south, and I'm down there hanging out with them quite a bit, so that might be where it's from. So, Kamala, I can't believe you're supporting her and this Walls guy. They're nuts.
I know, ain't
They
it
are so
amazing?
far left. It's
Oh
crazy.
my God. I know it's awful to want people to be taken care of, isn't it? It's just
No, it's
we
not
don't
that.
do that.
How are we going to take care of people if we're in World War III?
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Come
We
on,
didn't go
April,
in
be
World War
honest.
Three. Yeah,
Can you
I'm being
imagine her
honest.
sitting across the table from Putin?
I absolutely could see her sitting across the table
What
from
do you think's going
Putin
to happen in that
instead
meeting?
of bending over, instead of bending over for Putin. I see
No,
her
that's
sitting
not how that's
talking
going to
to
go
him
down.
instead of, like Trump did and just said, oh, Putin, give it to me.
No, that actually, hey, Putin didn't do shit when Trump was in office. This
Oh,
all
he had
happened once
started it.
once you all put
No,
Joe in.
no,
We warned
he
you it
had
was
a
going to
plan.
happen.
He had a plan, dear. So he
Who?
started in 2014. Yeah, Putin had a plan from the beginning.
And
As
Putin
soon as
didn't want
they
to play with
ousted,
Trump.
listen, Old North, as soon as they ousted the president of Ukraine, the one that was in the pocket of Russia, as soon as they
Yeah,
ousted
the
those people,
Obama-led coup.
that that wasn't Obama. That was a
Oh, that
people's
was
coup.
Obama.
There
That
was
was
no
Obama.
there was no Americans in there. Why do
Their
you
CIA was in
align it with?
there.
Oh
It's
Jesus
documented.
Christ!
It's documented.
Okay, show me,
Show you.
show me,
Uh,
show me.
Let me get my handy dandy laptop.
Well, get your handy dandy laptop.
But no, this isn't good. I don't think people realize how dangerous this world is right now. And we need strong leadership. We need somebody
You know what?
who can
I'm
go
not
in there and
worried.
negotiate and
I'm
get
not
peace.
worried. I'm not worried. Putin can't has 3 years and hasn't been able to do anything. Now Ukraine just took a portion of Russia. So don't tell me Russia's a weak ass punk ass bitch. And we don't have nothing to worry about. 3 years they've not accomplished shit. And they're this massive strong military presence. They ain't shit without their nukes.
Well, that's the part that we need to think about
Oh
because,
wait, they're not gonna do. They're not gonna do that. That's
well, first of all, do you remember when Biden was out there running his mouth and talking crap, and he told Putin, well, as long as it's just a minor incursion. You don't say something like that to Putin. When he heard minor incursion, that's
when
when
was
that all
that said? See, that's another one. These
2
things that
days.
you all hear.
No, it was on live TV when he said it. And I was watching there, and my mouth dropped
Oh, okay.
open.
Well, as soon as you can show me that clip, that's great too.
Yeah, just Google it. And actually,
Other than
Ukrainian
TikTok.
officials called him out. There was a bunch of articles on that.
Oh yeah.
No, serious.
Uh-huh.
You got your computer in front of you?
Well, I got my
My
iPad.
son's got my laptop. His computer fried in the last storm we had. But yeah, Google Ukrainian officials call out Biden for minor incursion comments. It's right there.
Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, it's little things like that you just can't do on the global stage, especially with
Oh
somebody like
no,
Putin.
Biden.
2 days later, he went in after that. By the way, I believe it was 2 days or 3 days, something like that. But no, I'll be voting for Trump. Probably voting for Trump. Those whole felony things. I think everybody realizes those were all political. That's why his poll numbers went up every time they did it. American people are very familiar, at least our family members that came over here were very familiar with those third world tactics. And that's why I think ultimately she's going to lose. But I honestly don't think they're going to allow him in. I don't, even if he wins the election, I don't think they're going to let him in.
So this is routers, however you want to say it. This is August 13th. Ukraine's military incursion into Russia has created a real dilemma for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
That's not the right art.
President Joe Biden said on Tuesday, adding the U.S. officials are in constant touch with the Ukrainians. Well, the headline says Biden calls Ukraine incursion a real dilemma for Putin. That's the only thing that's popped up.
I'll keep scrolling down. It's downer.
About 1,000 Ukrainian troops rammed through the Russian border in the early hours of August 6th with tanks and armored vehicles. A U.S. official said late on Tuesday the goal of Ukraine's Kursk incursion appears to be to force Russia to pull troops out of Ukraine to defend Russian territory against the cross-border assault. Answering questions from reporters upon arrival in New Orleans, Biden said he has been briefed every 4 to 5 hours for the last 6 to 8 days on Ukraine's actions. And it's creating a real dilemma for Putin, he said in his first substantive comments about the operation, which appeared to have caught the Russians off guard. The U.S. has provided billions of dollars of weaponry of Ukraine intended largely for defense purposes as Ukraine tries to repel the Russian invasion launched in February 2022.
Yeah, it's Joe Biden's minor incursion comments. It was pretty much a green light. That's the way Ukrainian
he's
officials
not.
took it.
And the White House has come out, their spokesman said Washington had no involvement in this operation.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking the beginning of the war when Putin decided to cross the border and start this thing. It was like 2 or 3 days that when Joe Biden made those comments.
Well, you need to tell me where to find it because I can't find that crap anywhere. The only thing in incursion and Biden is what I just told you about coming into when Ukraine's going into Russia. So unless you tell me a source, that's the only thing I'm seeing.
All right, hold on
from
one second.
ABC and everything.
Yeah, he's on. Well, I'll pull it up for you. If you want to drop me down or put me on hold, I'll find it on my phone and then That way you have a source and you can check it out yourself. But it's besides the point. I know what I heard, and
Okay,
I know.
okay. Hold on. Meredith, I'll bring you up to show this. Then I just want to keep it one-on-one with Norris. What you got, Meredith?
What it said was, and I can't pull it up because I'm on the app, but because it'll say I'm away. It said it depends on what Russia's decides. If it is a minor incursion, that's one thing. If not, that's a whole nother thing, and we will be involved. We will back the Ukraine. If you're going to read a source, don't use the Heritage Foundation, buddy, because that's on NPR. That was the whole
He's
quote.
not talking about this. He
I,
said he's talking about
no, she's
something
right.
from years
Meredith,
ago.
Meredith found it, but that's the thing. He left an opening, and with a guy like Putin, you can't leave any openings. And actually, if you keep digging into that, you'll see where Ukrainian officials
Actually, it didn't say
commented
that. I
on
looked
that.
at the whole damn thing. It didn't say that.
Didn't say what.
It didn't say anything about Ukrainian officials admonishing or being upset about what Biden said.
Oh, it's there. Keep searching.
On the Heritage Sites webpage, because they're going to say whatever they have to, because they're in Trump's back pocket, whether anybody wants to believe it or not.
Ukraine?
No, the Heritage.
He didn't say anything about Ukraine. See, that's what Old Norse. I think you just get bits and pieces of shit
One
and run
second,
with
April.
it.
I'll look at it again, but I'll be right back.
Thank you. So, but anyways, the point is, comments like that, you leave an opening for somebody like Putin, he's going to pounce, and he did. And I just have zero confidence in Kamala negotiating a peace deal, getting something straightened out over there.
Okay, I got it. The only thing, is his name Zelensky from Ukraine? I can't pronounce it. Anyway, the only thing he said was it's not a minor incursion. That's it. Nothing else.
That's all he said.
Well, there's other officials too. Yeah.
The only one that matters is the president. He is the president of Ukraine.
Okay,
People can
well,
get pissy about everything.
They've got
And
like
at least-
their Senate leaders and their like Nancy Pelosi's and Schumer's. It was
At least they don't.
You just think.
Trump's, at least they don't lick Trump's boots. The only thing Trump does with Putin is bow down to him and kiss his ass because he's a wannabe dictator.
No. You keep your enemies close.
Yes.
You keep your enemies close.
He thanked him for releasing the hostages. He already said, I will be a dictator on day one. He's a wannabe dictator, and he kisses ass to Putin and Kim Jong-un.
He wasn't a dictator in his first term, so that's all hyperbole.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
Okay, listen. Thank you, Meredith.
You're welcome,
for bringing up that source.
So, I mean, this whole thing of Trump going to be a dictator, that's
Well, he tried to be. Norris.
Not when he was president, he wasn't.
Norris, what was 2020?
2020?
I mean, 2021, January 6th, 2021. What was he trying to do?
Well, he wanted the states to investigate the questionable results, which is that's covered under the Electoral College Act. And, you got to have the congressman brings up their objections. They got to get a senator to agree, and then it will get sent back to those states to be looked at.
That's not how it works.
That's the Electoral College Act.
Old Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they have fake electors?
Has that been proven?
Oh, absolutely.
It has been.
They've already pled guilty. We had Sidney Powell to plead guilty to it. We had Jenna Ellis to plead guilty to it. They've had several others to plead guilty. The rest are just charged and awaiting trial. Then you've got it in Arizona. You've got it in, is it Michigan, Pennsylvania? We have all this. So why did they implement all these fake ass people to go in there and say
I
Trump
don't
was
think they
duly
probably
elected?
realized that what they were doing was wrong.
Oh,
I mean, because that's
even
the
though,
process. They were following the Electoral College Act. That's why.
even though August of 2020, uh, Roger Stone, making the statement, and the guy recorded him saying it, uh, about how they were going to do it, and they didn't care that they said that Trump lost. They were going to fight it. They were going to put these fake electors in there.
They
You've
didn't
never
know if he
seen that?
lost or not. That's why it all
No, no,
came
no,
up.
no, no, no. He said it doesn't matter. This is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have these fake electors to go in there and do that. That's what they thought Pence was going to say. Nope, nope, got to do it. No, no. Trump knew what he was doing. He knew he lost. He still knows he fucking lost.
I don't
And
know.
he's going to try the same thing again. He's going to lose by millions and millions again and claim he lost.
Well, the popular vote doesn't matter in our
No, I'm
election
talking
system.
about. I know
Elect
that. I know
Electoral
that, but
College.
she's gonna win the electoral
I
college
don't
too,
think she
and he's
is.
gonna. Oh, absolutely.
I
North
don't think she
Carolina
is.
in the polls. North
The,
Carolina even went up too
no,
for
that don't
Harris.
matter because here's the thing: Hillary Clinton was up by almost double digits on election day in 2016, and who won? Who won? Can you say it?
You keep taking whatever you
President
want.
Trump won, and Hillary Clinton had 10-point leads in the polls. So I don't put too much weight into it. And I'm looking at the small counties in the swing states that actually decide the election. And those counties, Trump is leading. As far as,
But why? I don't understand. What is it about this man that you cannot let go? He's 78 years old. He's slurring. He can't fucking speak. He's got problems. He's a convicted felon. He's got multiple indictments waiting on him as soon as he gets done with all this bullshit
that's one of the
running.
main reasons
And
I'm
then,
supporting him.
oh, to keep him out of jail because that's
No,
why he's
no,
running.
because I recognize third world tactics when I see them.
Oh, that's just
Come on,
bullshit.
April.
That's
Are you trying to
bullshit.
tell me that
Are you
Letitia
trying to
James?
tell me before he even said he was running that who told him to not give the documents back? Who told him after Nara begged for a damn year for that shit? Nothing would have happened to him.
Trump
Just
told
like
them take
Pence.
what they want.
No, no, old Norris, we have all the documentation. We have the letters that Nara begged for a fucking year, and they kept putting them off.
And they
Then when they
came.
sent back some, listen, no, they came and they released 15 boxes. Trump says, that's all I got. That's all I got. Even had people to lie, sign their names. And his lawyer that would not lie, Evan Cochran, was the number one witness and testimony with all his he kept notes on Trump the entire time. So
Okay.
Cochran is the one, his lawyer said, fuck this shit. You're a criminal. And he went and handed all this stuff to Jack Smith. He knew what he was doing.
And Jack Smith, the
And what
guy
was he
that
doing
altered
with it? What was he
evidence.
doing? What was he doing with the documents? Why did he want to
All
hold the
presidents keep
documents?
documents.
Oh,
All
Norris,
presidents keep them.
why did he need nuclear capabilities in other countries? Why did Donald Trump need to know military, top secret, nuclear capabilities of different countries?
I think it just drives you nuts. I think it drives you nuts that President
Why
Trump
does he need it?
had the ultimate
Why
authority
did he?
when it
Why
came to
did he? No, he
classification
didn't.
system.
Nope, nope. As soon as he left, every document went back to Nora.
Yep.
It didn't matter if it's classified or not. Every single stitch went back to Nora. But he refused to give it till they had to get with the DOJ after a year of begging, and then they got with the DOJ.
That's
They
the
said,
state
"We
side
need
of the
help.
story.
We need help."
Yeah,
Well, you can look at all the documentation. Look at the FBI investigation from the time they were introduced to this to go investigate what Trump's doing after a year later. Go look at that. It's called Plasmic Echo.
And
It's their whole
you want
investigation.
it's all because it's Trump. Joe Biden actually committed worse than Trump did.
Oh, Jesus
He
Christ
took
Almighty.
documents home when he was a senator, when he had no authority to take that stuff home. He had to stay in the skiff.
Well, I gotta say this: when a senator can take all their shit.
Oh,
This a senator cannot take classified information that remains. They review things in the skiff in the house. They review it there. He had all this documentation. A senator, you can look it up. A senator can take all their shit with them.
Democrat senators even called Joe Biden out for what he did. And on top of that, he made money via his book deal off of those
Jesus
stolen
Christ.
documents.
What did Trump get out of it?
He didn't get nothing. He didn't make no money on that.
Oh, bullshit.
There ain't no proof he made any penny on it.
Oh, it will when it comes out.
Oh, it will.
And, you know.
No.
It will. But you don't care. You don't care that he.
I care.
You don't care he was with Epstein. You don't care of what he done with children. You don't care about any of that. Nothing.
And almost all that is complete BS. It's just talking points from the left. You guys are so desperate.
All the Republicans wanted the Epstein files to come out.
Come on out, bring them out.
Republicans, and it came out.
It did.
Now nobody's talking about it because they even have the messages that Donald Trump sent Epstein when the call logs. Every time he would schedule a fucking massage from the young girls, Old Norris. But no, you don't want to see that.
Yeah,
you don't want to see that.
That's not what that says, though. And that Johnson, that case has been tossed out like 3 or 4 times.
No, it was twice out. It was twice out. It was one time. And it's because of the wording in the lawsuit.
No, yeah.
Can you? I know all about this, and you couldn't even give the correct phrasing of what Biden and Ukraine thinks. So please.
What do you mean?
So the documents, the first time she filed, they had the wording wrong. So the judge said, no, can't do this. So they pulled that. They threw that out. Now the next one. It went through, totally went through with Trump and Epstein together. And what happened? Her family got threatened. Her family got threatened. She got threatened.
And
you're telling me all these,
do you believe Eugene Carroll?
All these rich people, and you don't believe that?
Do you believe Eugene Carroll?
Has Donald Trump been involved with the mafia, the Russian mafia, since 1987?
The Russian mafia since 1987, directly or indirectly?
Oh, he done some money laundering that he got charged with when they had, they were set up in his Trump Towers. The whole top floor was Russian mafia. And it was
were they renting property? Were they renting rooms out of his hotel?
Well, that's what they say, but it was money laundering.
Did he know they were Russian mob? He probably didn't even know they were Russian mob.
He got fined, didn't he?
Well, it doesn't mean he knew who they were. A lot of people go in his hotels. He doesn't know. Have you been in one of his hotels? I doubt he knew you were in there.
No.
Huh?
Hell no. I wouldn't.
They're actually beautiful hotels.
If I had the money, I still wouldn't go in one of his hotels.
They're beautiful hotels. You should check it out. I think Democrats have so much hatred built up in them. I mean, the man is a grandfather.
No, you're the party of hate. Oh, grandfather.
No, we're not. Democrats started this on his inauguration day.
He cares about his kids. Didn't have nothing to do with them. Was never there around them the whole time growing up.
Well,
they said
my dad wasn't around a lot either. He was running a business.
Well, that explains what's wrong with you. So, then you're going to take this man that his daughter Have you seen the pictures he's had with his daughter?
Okay, do you trying to imply there's
Have you
something
heard?
sexual with that?
Have you heard? Have you heard the things he said about his daughter?
And it's all in jest and in fun. It's nothing. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
oh, okay.
no. Here's the
So
thing.
you would say that
Here,
you would say that about your daughter,
well, what do you
about
think
having
about
sex in
Tim
common?
Walz putting tampons in boys' bathrooms?
What's wrong with that, old Norse?
What
Do you not have a
do
wife?
you know how
Do you have a wife?
I do have a wife, and she wouldn't be
Does she
going in the
have
boys'
feminine?
bathroom.
Does she have feminine products in the bathroom? And do you go in that bathroom and use it?
Look, it's different when you're living in a
Look,
house with
look,
somebody, and
look,
it's another
look,
thing in a
look.
school.
What the fuck does it matter to y'all?
It
That's why you get called weird.
because that
Why
tells
does
me
it
the guy ain't
matter?
right in the
Why
head.
does it matter?
He's not right in the head.
He's not right in the head. Oh my God, making sure
I mean,
kids get to
he's
eat.
lying
He's
about.
making sure
He's
he's
got to use stolen valor to build
oh
himself up.
shit. He didn't have to. Someone like you saying he had stolen valor
And someone
after
like me,
24
the
years.
National Guard in Minnesota said it, not me.
No, the National Guard didn't. It was the
National Guard in
actual
Minnesota.
hush. The guy that he got the job over, the one that lost that position to Walls, is pissed off. That's the guy that covered him when he left. It takes a year to get out of service. It takes a year to get out of service. He had his paperwork in way before that shit. So don't even start.
No,
A man,
he
you just
uses a
not even
title that he
no.
never got.
You're calling someone a stolen valor, and what have you done for your fucking country? Not a thing. About as much as me.
Well,
So
hey,
for you to say that shit about somebody, that's disgraceful.
it's not disgraceful. It's telling the truth. You might not like the truth.
No, that's not true.
It is true. And it's
What's
reported
true?
everywhere. Even Kamala Harris's
Oh
campaign had
my
to bring it up.
God.
They
Oh my
even brought it
God.
up. They said he
So you're just
misspoke.
gonna go. You're gonna go.
You're in
no.
denial.
You're a liar. You're a liar. And
No.
because you're a liar, and all these people are telling me to drop you because of your misinformation.
That is not.
But you look at TikTok and you look at other things instead of looking at the facts.
I
had
am
a
looking at.
25-year veteran that brought up his papers that had all this is able to see all this about Walls, and he explained it perfectly what happened. And he explained when he retired, he put his notice in at a year, and then it happened. So
Well,
it's just bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
It's bullshit.
He claimed a title that was not true. And even Kamala Harris's campaign said he misspoke. But he misspoke about 30 times at different functions. When he was
Thank
running for
you.
governor.
I was waiting for that. Now hush up and listen, Norris. Hush up or I'm going to drop you down. Listen to a 25-year veteran that knows what he's talking about instead of somebody like you or me that don't.
When Walsh retired, his document, National Guard Bureau Form 22 Alpha, stated Command Sergeant Major. It's on the paperwork. 9 months later, they administratively reduced him to E8, Master Sergeant. Those are forms that are actually produced, and you can see that. Do you think he lied?
Well, why did Kamala Harris's campaign said he misspoke?
How did he misspoke?
I don't know. You got to ask them that.
I don't need to ask him.
Once the heat got put on him about it, that's when Kamala's campaign said that.
No, don't say that because I've not seen anything from the campaign saying that. You're lying through your teeth now.
So why was his record brought up? Because he got the promotion over another knucklehead who's trying to disparage him. Did you read about that?
And who said that? Was
Man,
that
Sergeant Major Thomas Behrens. You can look him up on Facebook. His Facebook is open, and he answers questions. He got passed over, and that's why Walsh got the position, and now he's pissed off. He had to deploy while Walsh was moving up in his career, helping veterans even more by going to Congress and being the chair of the Veterans Affairs Committee. Ooh, do you think that he could do more for veterans on the Veterans Affairs Committee as a chair? Let me ask. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, possibly. If he did, I
Okay,
don't
then
know.
shut the fuck up about his record, bro. He's legit.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see about that. I mean,
We just did. We just saw it right here.
yeah. And I'm not
Hey,
going to
Bob.
take your word
Bob, can
for it
I
either.
ask you a question?
Sure.
How far in advance did you give your notice that you were retiring?
A year. As did Walls.
What's the usual? Yeah, is that normally how long it takes?
It takes a year to get all your paperwork, all the things that you have to do prior to getting out for whatever reason you're getting out, all the classes you have to do, all the preparation. It takes about a year to get all that done, and also to get your replacement that's going to backfill you. It takes a year. He did that as well before deployment orders.
So, what does that explain about Walls acting like a mini dictator during COVID? I mean, he set up a hotline number
that's
for
a very
neighbors to
good
call in
He
neighbors.
just COVID.
That's a good pivot.
He just pivoted.
But thank you for acknowledging that I was right and you have no clue what you're talking about.
No, because Kamala Harris's campaign even said he misspoke. So
No,
I'll keep
didn't.
looking. I mean, it's still relevant. It's in the news. Everybody's talking about it. So
No, it's just on your TikTok friends pages.
nope.
Yeah,
You know, Task and Purpose, Jeff Schogel, you could go look this up. Task and Purpose wrote a story about Walls. Task and Purpose, look this up. The reporter's Jeff Schogel asked the Minnesota National Guard. The Minnesota National Guard quoted that he retired as a command sergeant major and it was reduced later. There's a quote. You can look it up.
But it was reduced later.
Yeah, he was reduced later because he didn't finish the Sergeant Major Academy in
The training.
Fort Bliss, Texas.
Okay, but he kept using that title, correct?
He retired on official National Guard Bureau paperwork as a command sergeant major. That is out in the public. You can see it. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, months later, then he was reduced to the E8 to the master sergeant position. That is also out there. You can see it.
Sure, and then
just because of some classes, wasn't it, Bob?
Right, just because he didn't finish the Sergeant Major Academy.
And after that, when he was campaigning for governor, he used which title?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. When he was conditionally promoted to command sergeant major and he served in that position, do you think that means he actually was a command sergeant major, or was he faking the funk? What do you think?
Well, he might have been, but that's not his official title now.
Yes, it was. It definitely
Maybe
was.
Then, but he didn't complete everything. So,
oh, God.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's somebody that's not even served. Talking about a veteran, and even when he responded to JD Vance. Did you see that, Old Norris?
Who?
When Walls, responded to JD Vance about saying that.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I know
He wasn't going to disparage anything that JD did in the military, and he said, "Thank you for your service." That's what a grown-up, that's what an actual person does. He's not going to disparage another veteran's. Just like when if a veteran was to call Bach out, that's disgraceful.
Well, I know stolen valor happens a lot.
Let me ask you this.
Veterans don't like.
Let me ask you this.
He doesn't have stolen valor.
Let me ask you this final, because you're not believing all this. Let me ask you this. Okay. So April has already said that I retired from the Army as 25 years. So I got paid for it. I was a colonel, 06, and I got a master's degree in national security and strategic studies. I am an expert source.
Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
So you can believe what I say.
All right. Well, but you did agree that they did change his title.
Yes, they did change.
Okay. And that's what this is all about.
Okay, but
After
it's
9
not
months.
stolen valor. Just keep that out of your mouth. It's not anywhere near stolen valor.
All right. Well, if he was using that title after he knew it was taken down, I mean, that's not being honest. I mean, that's so.
Did he serve as a command sergeant major?
He did.
Yes.
He did.
Thank you. It's all that matters.
And then the title got removed
After 9 months, and it was Was it
And
because
then
of
he
his
still used.
actions? Wait. Was it because of failure to do something? Did he get demoted for reasons like unbecoming of an officer or anything like that? Or was it classwork?
I think it was just the training and all that. But I think the point that people are going after him about is that he used that title after he was demoted back
He
down.
wasn't demoted. He was administratively reduced because of
Okay.
paperwork.
And that's another word for being dropped down, demoted.
No,
It's,
demoted is due to punitive reasons, not administrative reasons. Get your facts straight.
well, it's the same process.
It is not the same. It is
It-
not. That's why you don't understand what you're talking about. It is not the same.
Well, if you get lowered down, there's different words that you can use. So if
Oh
that
my
demoted's
God.
not technically correct,
You just really hate this guy. That's all it is.
Yeah,
well, no, I
that's
do,
all
I
it
do,
is.
I do, because what he did with, I mean, he destroyed so many businesses.
So why don't you focus
he's
on
known
that
as-
as an argue or as a debate point and leave his military service out? You can debate about his governorship or how he did in Congress, but his military service record is perfectly fine. Debate something else about him.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, that's
Trump
what's been on the
supporters
news.
can't.
No, I can.
No.
He's known as dictator Tim in Minnesota. The people there don't like the guy because of what
Oh,
he did
that's
with
why
Trump.
he's got such big approval. That's why his state is in the green in budget. You know, they got a surplus going on there. That's why he kept getting elected. He got elected twice.
And that
And that's why oh yeah, and he got elected twice in the House. So yeah, old Norse, try
I
again,
mean,
man. I mean,
kids out of school for almost 2 years. The damage that did to those kids, it's horrible. The businesses, the business owners, they might not have a loud voice in Minnesota, but
oh
go talk to
shit.
them. Go talk to
Oh
them.
yeah, talk to him, old Norse. You haven't.
I have.
You haven't. No, you
I
haven't.
talk to people all over the place.
Yeah, I'm
And,
sure you do. Just
my-
like the
my-
knowledge you have on the Ukraine thing, like the knowledge you have of everything that happened, you're in denial of how bad Trump is. And any shade you can
You're
throw to the
actually in
other
denial how
side.
bad Kamala is. Look at her record the last 4 years. Everything's gone to shit with Joe and her in there. Everything.
Oh my God, has more
Everything.
legislation
$4
than the
gallon
history.
gas. $4
Oh,
gallon
Jesus.
gas. You go
Bob,
to the grocery store.
thank you for coming up, but I'm done with playing with him.
I'm under the
He's-
weather. I'm going to drop anyways. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bob, for
Bye.
coming in. Oh, and I'm sorry you feel bad, dear. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Anything to make Trump not look so bad. Anything. You all are ridiculous. Oh my God. He wanted to feed kids. He made sure the kids ate breakfast and did lunch. Oh my God. Holy cow. Holy cows. We got Republicans. I see friendly. Friendlies. Traditional tattoos. Are you a Trump supporter? Traditional. Oh, crybaby host. Okay, here we go. I'll bring you in. You call me a crybaby host.
Bounced out like a clown because guess what? As a military veteran speaking to another military veteran, Walsh is full of shit and it's nothing but stolen valor. There's nothing anybody can say about it. I've been in the military for long. Every single veteran that I know that doesn't even support Donald Trump has called this guy stolen valor. So you can cry all you want and you can't say shit to me, April, because you're not in the military. So don't say nothing.
No, but I'll
Stolen
let
valor.
another. Oh,
Nope.
okay, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Call another
Go
veteran out.
ahead.
Call a veteran up. Call him up.
Okay.
Call him up. He said a year ago, you clown, that he was a sergeant, command sergeant major. A year ago. Okay? He was demoted because he did not finish the requirements to be a sergeant major. So that's why he was relieved of his duty. When you're
Did he?
given a position, no, hold on. When you're given a position in the military, you sign a commitment and state that you will complete that training. If you don't, you are removed and demoted from that training, which he was. He failed. He also said that he held a weapon in war, never been in war. He also said that he went to
Provide the proof.
Afghanistan and
Provide the
that
proof.
he stood on Bagram Air
Provide the
Force
proof.
Base.
Blue Falcon, provide the proof. If you said it, bring the receipts. Bring the receipts. No, right now, I'm being straight up. Blue Falcon. I despise somebody that support against the injury. I'm an
All
Army
right,
veteran.
traditional. What do you know about Operation Enduring Freedom?
There is a video of Walls saying that he stood on the tarmac of
Yeah, when he
Bagram
was
Air
when he
Force
was in the
Base.
Senate. When he was in
No,
the Senate.
he's
Yep,
never been to
He
Afghanistan.
he
did.
was as a senator.
He
He
Yep.
was
did.
never. No, he was
Yes, he
not.
wasn't. He was a
No,
Traditional.
he
senator.
was
As a
not. Where was
while he was in.
where did
Okay,
Can you
Jesus
just stop
Christ.
talking?
Thank you,
Because
Bob.
he's got
no
itinerary.
where was the where
He's
did he
got
hold
an
the
itinerary for him going to
where
Afghanistan as a CODEL congressional delegation. You heard of that, right?
where
For
Because I know if
Veterans
you were in the
Affairs.
military, you've heard
where
of
did
Veterans
he
CODEL.
hold
Affairs.
a weapon in battle?
Okay, here
Where
we
did
go.
he hold a
Let
weapon?
me
Oh
answer
my
that.
God.
So where did he deploy in support of OEF? Where did he deploy?
Where
Yeah.
you don't no. I
No,
answer
I'm
my
answering your
question.
question. Where
Answer
did
it.
he?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me a
Why are
question
you
to
so
answer a
angry?
question.
Why are you
What's wrong
so
with
angry?
you? What's
So
wrong with
okay,
you?
so he
Calm
deployed. He
down.
deployed to Italy in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He went to Vicenza, Italy. Vicenza, Italy. The first.
Where was the war that he was in? What battle did he fight in?
He didn't have to fight in a battle. Why do you have to
That's
fight?
what
What
he
battle did
said.
what battle did you? What
He
battle did you
said
serve in?
he said
What
that he
battle? What battle? What battle did you serve in,
he
traditional? What battle did you
you're
serve
not a
in,
veteran.
traditional?
I
What
am.
battle?
You're not a veteran.
I'm a
What
veteran.
Don't lie,
battle?
April.
I'm a
You're
What
not a
veteran.
veteran.
battle?
No,
Because
no, no.
this
That's
is my
don't
life.
look at you changing it. I asked a question about somebody you
What
You're not
support,
letting
battle?
and
me.
now
You're
you're
not
What
even
asking
letting
about
me
battle?
me.
answer the question. You keep yelling.
Tell
I am trying to tell you. You keep yelling though.
Traditional. Don't
Okay.
overtalk. If somebody
So
asks you a
tell me
when
question,
something.
he
don't overtalk,
deployed to
man.
Operation Enduring Freedom to Vicenza, Italy, he was in support of OEF. He carried an M4 and an M9 because they were in charge of what do you call it? Guarding the military bases. He carried a weapon. Was he actually in
What?
Afghanistan? No, he wasn't in Afghanistan. But Italy
He
and
said that
Turkey supports
he carried
OEF. You can keep
he
yelling
said
all
he
you
carried
want. He did
battle.
carry.
He said
I'm gonna add this to this. If you want to overtalk, you think you make you tough like that. You think you're right.
he
That's a no. Bring
he
receipts,
said that
man. Go to this. Bring the receipts, man. Bring the
he
receipts. I got enough of your bullshit.
he
Bring the
said that he
goddamn
carried
receipts.
it.
Bring in the damn receipts, chunk.
He said
Bring in the receipts. Bring it. We put in the picture. Bring the
he
receipts.
said
Bring in the
that he
receipts.
carried
Bring
it.
the receipts. Bring the
Okay,
freaking
it
receipts.
doesn't help, G-Man. It doesn't help with trying to yell over him. He's not listening. If
I
he
know.
would like to come up and quit screaming this stuff, I will bring him back up. But if
All
he
right.
is not willing to listen and just keeps screaming, because
Right.
Bob, please ask him where he was deployed
Yeah.
and what battle he was in.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
If he
Bob.
would like to come back up.
What?
So if you calm your ass down, traditional, you can come back up.
While he's debating whether he wants to come back up, so everybody else who's listening, no, he did not deploy into Afghanistan. He was in Italy. But many people who are veterans or and know about it, Italy supports Afghanistan throughout the entirety of the war. There's so much that goes on in Italy just supporting like strategic airlift and intelligence and logistics and fires targeting. I don't know what fires is, field artillery. That's what Walsh was doing. He was field artillery. Fires. It's aviation and close air support. So did he go into Afghanistan? No. But neither do drone pilots who fly into Afghanistan because they're in Utah. And in Utah, they're still in combat.
So traditional, if I bring you back, you're going to act civilized and not keep screaming.
Not only
The
that,
second you do,
overtalk.
the second you do, I'll just drop you back down. Because I don't want to stay on all this. I'm not a veteran, and I have to keep bringing people up that are veterans to speak about this.
Like I said, traditional. If you had it, bring in the receipts and put in the big screen, refine it. If you don't, it doesn't make you right. You over talk other people. Like Block try bringing some information, you don't want to hear it. You're all yelling. You just lost your argument right there.
He's not connecting.
He's not connecting. I'm gonna let you know why do you support the draft doctrine because the Queen any veteran that support vote against the interest. Why you support the draft doctrine? How they disrespect the people who made the ultimate sacrifice, golden families, so on, so on, and so on. Called the sucker losers, Akanubinas, all this stuff. You guys know. Hey, facts attack. What's up, man?
Hey, April, I've got the documents that was sent to me. If you want to put me on the big screen, and Bach can go over them.
Okay. Hey, April, I'm gonna be back on the comments. Let somebody else join in there. I'm gonna listen to this live. Any more problem with these Blue Falcons? Bring me up.
All right. Thank you, G-Man.
Let me fix that a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Bach, you want to go over that or talk about it while I'm fixing it?
What does that look like it is?
Yeah, that's the National Guard Form 22 Alpha, that his retirement paperwork, his official retirement paperwork, and you'll see it if attacking zooms in. It's his retirement rank was Command Sergeant Major. His retirement grade was E9.
Yeah, I actually have an article that actually confirms that Governor Tim Walz was in fact demoted and did not retire as Command Sergeant Major.
Yeah, so there was an administrative change to that.
So here's that part what Bach just said. It says right there, date of enrollment, gives his date, and it says right there, like Bach was saying, rank CSM, pay grade E9. Now I'm going to bring up the second paper that Bach sent me. Right, Bach?
Yep.
Go ahead from there.
That's the administrative reduction paperwork that I mentioned, where after he was retired, then you can see on the paperwork he was reduced to E8 Master Sergeant.
But he retired originally.
Yep.
Right. As E9.
So it says reads as CSM, changed to reads MSG.
Master Sergeant.
Then the next step it says reads as E9, changed to E8, and then it gives the dates.
Questions?
Go ahead, Bach.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Are there any questions for anyone who wants to challenge it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Law, you wanted to add something?
I have more to add to this, if that's okay.
As a matter of fact, I was at a broadcast with Kyle earlier today. He's a total Trump supporter. He doesn't care that Trump did anything with E. Jean Carroll. He says it's all fake. Everything else. So
I did not say that. Don't put words in my mouth. E. Jean Carroll is not fake, and this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about Walz right now. Can I expand on Walz's retirement from factcheck.org? Is that okay? Or you just want to call me a grapist apologist? Is that what you're going to do? Or do you want to actually talk about facts that matter? Do you want to talk about the facts that matter, or do you want to call me an apologist based on the fact that you're innocent of proven guilty?
Are you going to speak about what the colonel down here, a 25-year colonel, has stated, Kyle?
Yes,
of how he retired as an E9, and after 9 months, because of the classwork, he got demoted to E8.
Right.
Is that it?
Yes, he got demoted. But my point is, Walls' retirement from the National Guard. Here, it says in a fact-checked article, in March 20 of 2005, Walls' campaign put out a press release titled, "Walls still planning to run for Congress despite possible call to duty in Iraq." So he knew it was coming, and he decided to still retire.
Yeah, let me explain that. So he, by the time that article, or by the time the date of what you're talking about is exactly true. He had already put his paperwork in a year prior, though. And so he made a decision. Is he going to help veterans, service members by staying as a CSM, or is he going to move on and continue his application to Congress? He chose to continue on to Congress of what he won.
Why do his direct
And by the way, Kyle, that guy underneath you.
Disagree with you.
Who is the superior? He is a CSM. Who is the superior?
Why is the guy that replaced him? Why is he saying that? Is he just partisan?
It's Command Sergeant Major Thomas Behrens that I mentioned earlier. You can look him up on
Because he's a Trump
Facebook.
supporter, you're gonna say he's wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say that he was passed over and Walsh got his position and served in that position instead of him. And he got pissed off, jealousy, because he got passed over and started talking shit. Because then when Walsh moved on to Congress, he had to deploy in his place. Sucks to be you, but Walsh did bigger and better things for his career after 24 years.
And as a matter of fact,
I'm not going to discredit his full military service.
Do you see that gentleman right underneath you, Kyle, the big heavyset man with the beard, the gray guy? He served with Tim Walz. He doesn't like him running for the vice presidency, and he's not supporting Vice President Harris and Tim Walz. But he said he's not going to let lies degrade his service. Now I can play his words of him saying that he did exactly what Bach just said. He filed his paperwork a year ahead of time. There was rumors, but rumors are rumors, like he says, and there was no definite knowledge that they were going to be deployed when he left. And then they left they were deployed a couple months later. Would you like to hear his words? The guy who doesn't like Tim Walz? Would you like to hear his words, Kyle?
Sure.
See, this is how you didn't like what I was playing earlier today about Donald Trump. You didn't like those words either?
Because you lied about the context of it to try to make it sound worse. If it's so bad on its face, you wouldn't have to lie about key details.
What?
Oh, you mean that
you wouldn't have to lie about key details?
That he molested kids?
No, he didn't. You can't. Don't go there.
Kyle,
you can't prove that.
Kyle, let me be clear. I believe the article that you're talking about. I do, but the timing is the article insinuates that he just deserted, but he had already.
Okay, but my question is, I'm trying to find the when did he file for retirement? Where is that? I'm trying to.
April, if you want to give me the big screen, I've got it up on mine.
Okay.
There's the timeline. He filed to run for Congress in February 2005. And then the entire Minnesota National Guard in March got alerted of a potential deployment and that the deployment could happen within the next 2 years for a period of up to 2 years. And then in May 2005, he announced his retirement. August, his old unit got the orders to deploy.
What's key in that timeline is that the congressional cycle, right, is every couple years. He had to put his paperwork in a certain time if he was going to run for Congress or miss that window.
Sorry. So wait, go ahead, finish first, and then I'll.
That was it. I'm just saying that he was either going to miss the window or wait another couple years, right?
So I'm just confused. When did he file for retirement?
Kyle,
I'm not
it's
saying
not like, okay, Bob discussed this earlier. It's not like how we can just put a 2-week notice in. So when you've done this many years in service.
When was it that he put in for retirement?
Yeah, and Bob says it takes a year.
Right, but when did he put in for retirement? That's what I'm asking. Like, what day did he file for retirement?
May 16th, 2005.
What day?
May 16th, 2005.
No, that's when he retired.
Well, yeah. Right.
He would have filed that paperwork at least a year out. I don't have the date of when he filed it.
So we don't actually know when he filed it. So we're basing information when we can't even tell you when he filed it.
We're not going to listen to...
But that doesn't matter. The facts don't bear that case.
Kyle, good faith, Kyle. in good faith, I'm telling you, I don't know when he filed, but you always have to put your paperwork in at least a year, 9 months because of all the transition stuff. I don't have the date, but I'm giving him credit that he did it like every other veteran has done it.
Yeah, it says who.
Like
Based
me.
on what information?
Like I had to put my shit
So
in
you're
there
just
a
saying
year
he
out.
did the right thing, even though you can't
Oh
prove
my
when
God!
he did it.
Can we have another 20-something year veteran up in here?
Can I have another? I have another article from PBS
Someone
here
that
for you.
retired.
We
Here, I
had
have
him up
the
in a broadcast
Superior.
earlier for an hour talking about all the things that Trump did. He denied every one of them. He literally said that he'd have to watch Trump assault a woman to believe it. That's what
No,
this
I
guy
said
is.
he'd have to be convicted in a court of law. Stop lying.
And he was. And by the way,
You're
I
innocent
have the
until
video.
proven guilty. He was not
and he's
convicted
guilty
of grape.
By the way, I
No,
have
he
the
was
video.
not convicted of grape.
I have the video.
He was not convicted of
Hold
grape.
on, I'm tired of this. Kyle,
Don't go
hold
there.
on. Hold on. Let me see. It looks like Anthony Brown. Are you
Okay.
a long time? Anthony, you're in the box. Are you a veteran that served for a long time? Anthony, answer me in the comments. You're in the box. Yes. Okay.
This
Can I
is
cite
a
this
little,
PBS
little less-
article?
No, because you're going to hear the video first before you read anything.
Okay, you keep playing videos, but just because one guy said something doesn't make it a fact.
He served
Don't
with
show
him.
it, just
dumb
play
It's his
ass.
opinion. It's his opinion. It's not
You-
based
you
in
asked
fact.
him for the
He
video,
served
though.
with
Kyle,
him.
Kyle, hush, or I'll just
He
drop you down.
served with
Okay.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did a lot of other people that say the otherwise.
Oh my God,
No
Kyle.
leader had an idea that if he didn't retire and run for Congress at that moment, he was going to go to Iraq. Did you all know that you were probably going to Iraq when he put in his papers? As far as I know, he did not know. The timeline is that he retired in May, and at that time, there were all kinds of rumors about us deploying, because that's what happened. There's rumors that you're going to deploy or you're going to go somewhere or whatever. In May, when he decided to retire, we had no, other than rumors, there was no NOS, which is the notice of deployment, which that didn't come until July of that year. And then there's and I don't remember the name of the third thing, but that came in August and told us where we were going. Fair enough. I did talk to him prior to his decision to retire, and he told me he was going to become a congressman, which I didn't think that was a great idea. But why did you think it was a great idea? Well, I think most of our politicians are in it for the wrong reasons, and I didn't think he would be a very good politician.
So while he says that they didn't know, and you don't like the fact, and you say, so what? You're a disgusting person here like you were this morning.
No, you're not. That's not what I said. I have direct superior saying the opposite.
I can shed some light on this because I spent over 20 years.
Not Barron's.
Okay, Anthony, how did you retire? Tell us the process you went through.
So if you're going to get out, say you sign a contract, you're underneath your 20 years, you do have to give them 8 to 12 months notice because there's deployments, there's everything else that goes on. Once you reach that 20-year mark, and trust me when I tell you, I'm an independent, so I've done my research on this because all the things that they come out, I take it personal against what Waltz is saying. I don't believe that it is the fact that he did what he did. I think that it's the fact that he continues to tell mistruths about his service. But if he had over 20 years, they do not require him to take a year to get out. He can put in his paperwork, and it can take up to 30 to 60 days for him to out process since he was National Guard. He was not active duty. So once he got his retirement pay grade and age and he was all credited, he could have gotten out, within months. So I don't know when he signed. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about him walking around saying he was a command sergeant major and that he carried, weapons during wartime when he wasn't there, or that he was at a Bagram Air Base when my fellow Marines were being sent back, and I was there. So that's my big
Do
thing.
you realize I can just answer Anthony to the Bagram Air
You're
Base?
gonna say he was a senator, but he said this.
He was a congressman, and if you listen to the whole thing, he was talking about being in Congress and going there. If you look at his itinerary, his itinerary's out of when he went there and where he went.
I'll go do that research. But I mean, for the Democratic Party to have to change their masthead to say that he was not a combat veteran to make those changes, there was some mistruths, some misleading going on. I'm not happy about it. I haven't decided which way I'm voting yet.
Did it say combat veteran? Well. Did it say combat veteran or veteran? What did it
no,
say?
No, it did. The on their website, it did say combat veteran.
The change that they made was, and I'm not a Walz fan. He's my governor, and I've got quite a lot of criticism of him. But the change that they made was, initially it said that he retired as a command sergeant major, and they changed it to he achieved the rank of command sergeant major.
He never achieved the rank of command sergeant major. His colonel put out a page and a half yesterday that you can go read. He never.
Yeah, you're talking about Kolb. Kolb was never his commander, though.
Okay, well, the colonel said he never achieved the rank of command sergeant major. That's all I know.
He did. His retirement paper. He held it for 9 months, Anthony.
He held the title. He never completed the schooling. Therefore, he
that
never
is
got
correct.
on.
We've said that.
He never got.
So how are you a sergeant major if you didn't complete the
E8.
requirements?
It's called frocking.
It's called lying.
No, it's not. He was put in the position.
Yes, it is. If you didn't meet the standard, you're being disingenuous.
What is a conditional promotion? What is that called?
If they never penned him, if he was never penned, if he was never given the command sergeant major rank on his lapel, he was not a command sergeant major.
Yes, he was.
He was never penned. He was an E8.
Oh my God.
No, it's the truth. Were you in the military? I'm telling you the truth.
Yes, I was in the military. I served a couple years.
Need to just wake up.
I served a couple years.
How about Doug Julian,
Anthony,
who served as a more senior command sergeant in Walls Battalion?
What did you retire as? Anthony, what did you retire as?
I was a gunny.
Gunnery sergeant.
That's correct.
Do you know what Buck retired as?
Who
about
retired
Doug
as?
Julian?
The guy you just said, have you ever served? Do you know his ranking?
No, I don't.
He was a colonel.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not bashing anybody on this call. I'm merely bringing to fact. I mean, if he was a colonel, he knows that you're not promoted until you get pinned. This is elementary stuff.
What is pinning? If you put
when
on,
you go before your commanding officer and they pin you, then they give you your promotion record.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So when I was named from a lieutenant colonel to colonel on the promotion list,
sure,
it was going to be about 8 months before I would actually be promoted to that rank, right? But I was going into a job at my next duty station where it was a colonel's position. It wasn't a lieutenant colonel's position. So what did the Department of the Army do? They frocked me. They put colonel on my chest, but I did not get paid for it until my actual promotion date. I did serve in the position for about 8 months, and then I finally got paid for it, but I was still serving as a colonel.
Okay, so as a colonel, then you know that they can place you anywhere they want to and give you any title.
Yeah, they can.
Let me finish.
I disagreed with you.
Okay, his retirement paper said Master Sergeant.
Look at that retirement paper. It's right there. His retirement paper is right there below me.
And you need to go back and you need to go back and you need to reread it.
Because
hold on, Anthony. It says it right there. It says rank CSM, pay grade E9. Now I can show you the change paperwork if you want to see that.
And what was the change paperwork for? Because he had not completed the classes.
I'll show you.
The change is exactly what you're saying. He was reduced to Master Sergeant E8.
Okay, that is
if
what
you're reduced, does that mean you retired holding it?
Yes, because his paperwork said he retired holding it.
But it's disingenuous to say that he retired holding it when in fact he was demoted because he didn't complete the proper paperwork.
It's not demotion. It's an
How is it? It's not a demotion?
No.
This man walked around before
How is it
3
not a
weeks ago
demotion?
telling everyone he retired a command sergeant major.
To be demoted,
not.
to be demoted is as a result of some punitive action, not administrative reduction. Two different terms.
Okay, and how do you explain him saying that we need to get rid of weapons that he carried around during wartime?
Yeah, he was in Operation Enduring Freedom. He had an M4 and an M9.
In Italy, he
in
guarded
Italy.
a warehouse.
So what? He still had a weapon.
Okay.
How about Doug Julian,
Okay.
a more senior command
I can
sergeant
tell
in the
you
1st
never
Battalion?
served in a hostile environment either, my friend.
No, I never did.
Okay, well, to me, it's stolen valor, and it's going to teeter my vote one way or another if this guy gets on.
So, Bog, that upsets me that you say that to him.
What?
Just because you're a colonel or just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you have a unique ability to be the only person, the arbiter of the truth. That's just an argument from authority, which is a logical fallacy.
No, it's not because
yes, it is.
No. What I will say is this.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Anthony. I'm saying that Bach for reals is saying that because they're saying that just because he's a veteran, therefore he knows everything that he's talking about.
No, he doesn't.
And you know nothing, Kyle.
Well, I do know that Doug Julian, who oversaw Walls as a
some-
more senior command sergeant, said he went over his head to retire because he knew that Doug Julian would tell him, "Suck it up, we're going," and tell him that we need to do this. It says right here, a few months later, Julian found out from another guard member that Walls had retired after all, which he secured by going through officers who outranked Julian. He said, "I would have analyzed it and challenged him. It would have been a different discussion, but he went to higher ranks. He knew I would have told him, suck it up, we're going." Other former colleagues have criticized him for leaving the National Guard for Congress despite being fully aware that he could have requested permission from the Pentagon to run for office while on active duty. On May 16, 2005, Walls quit, betraying his country, leaving the 125th Field Artillery Battery Battalion and its soldiers hanging without its senior non-commissioned officer as the battalion prepared for war.
Why are we listening to you, Kyle?
Yeah, by
Is
the
what I
way,
said
April,
false
just
or true?
by the way, April,
Why are we listening to you? You've never
because
served.
I can have an
You're
opinion
reading-
because I can read an
you're
article
reading-
and have an
you're
opinion
reading,
on it.
You're reading people that are biased against Walls.
Well, how is Doug
That's not
Julian biased?
information.
He oversaw
Doug
Walls as a
Julian's
senior
not
command
biased.
sergeant.
That was his command sergeant major.
Lord have mercy.
He's not biased.
Let me ask you this: do you really think? I'm not talking to you, Kyle, because you have no idea.
Oh, all right,
So,
okay. You just can't debunk
thank
what
you,
I said.
Balls. Thank you.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I did serve
can't
in
debunk
combat.
the facts.
So thank you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
never served. He
That
never
doesn't
was
mean you
in
can
action.
uniquely talk about it.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I can uniquely talk about it because there's
No, you can't. I can do the same thing because I have the facts in front of me.
But
you can't
listen.
tell me
Jesus
what my
Christ.
lying eyes are reading.
You don't have a fact, you have an article. That's not a fact. It's an
I only
article.
want to hear from veterans. Anthony,
Yes, ma'am.
do you not think it's a little bit disgraceful that someone that served 24 years and you're just not liking how he went out to come up and say anything bad about another veteran that spent
Are you
24
asking-
years of his life?
Are you asking if I feel disgraced by doing that?
Yeah, I mean, isn't
this is-
that
this is-
bad
no, no, I
thing?
would've had-
Do you
listen,
want
I would've-
people talking about what you did?
Or they can talk about me all day long because I've never lied about my service. Okay, number one. Number two, I don't feel disgraced. The problem is this, okay? When we go through these things, when we go through boot camp, I didn't go to college first. I got my degree later. And we go through boot camp and we spend all this time and we go over and we actually serve and we do the things that have been asked and we never deny orders and we never do anything. And we do exactly what we're supposed to. We have nothing to lie about. If he would have just came out and said, hey, I spent 24 years in the reservists, guess what?
National
This
Guard.
is what I did. This is what I did.
National Guard.
Or National Guard. I just said service. If he came out and he was honest from the get-go, there would be no problem. The reason that this is coming up is because for years, since 2005, this man has lied on his service record.
I
he's
think
unit
the
is coming
reason
out
it's
and
come up
writing
is
letters.
people don't like that he went to Congress instead of deploying. That's what
No
veterans
one
are
cares
saying.
about that.
Bullshit.
Listen, people move on to different jobs.
Bullshit. I've seen that from so many veterans, the hate among veterans that because he quote unquote left his soldiers before deployment. That's what a lot of
So it has nothing to do with him lying.
No, that's another argument, but I'm saying a majority of
No,
the
it's not an argument. That's the crux of it all.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
Had
it's
he
not.
come out and said, "Hey, I spent all this time over. I never went to battle. I was in Italy. I never carried a rifle or weapon of war. I never
He
had to go
carried a
see
rifle.
these things."
But does it matter? Why are you not saying the same thing about JD Vance in sitting in a comfy office writing shit down with paper and pencil? Why are
Because
you
he
not
doesn't lie
saying
about
that?
it. Because he
What are you
doesn't
not
lie
saying about?
about it.
Why are you
Why
He
not
did
doesn't lie.
saying that?
why
No,
Because
didn't
he
you
he
just
didn't
said
lie.
because he didn't hold a weapon, which
why didn't why didn't
he
he
held a
No, he
weapon.
lied about it.
He
why
Donald
held
didn't
Trump
he
a
extend his
weapon.
service?
lies.
Why didn't he
He
extend his why didn't he extend his service? Why didn't he stay in another 4
That
years?
that's his.
yeah.
Listen, he gets to make that decision, not me.
But there was a war going on at the time when he left, right?
Of
So
course.
Walz can't make that
Yeah.
decision. He can't make the decision after 24 years to retire and move on to Congress. He can't make the
No, he
decision.
can do whatever he wants, but
He
don't
did.
lie about it.
He didn't. He got out. He went to Congress. He didn't lie about
And
that.
he carried a
Okay.
weapon during
In
Rocky
Italy.
Freedom, and during Freedom,
Let
Okay.
me
he
ask you a
carried a
real
weapon.
Anthony, let me ask you a real simple question. Let me ask you a simple question. The word was Tim Walz said he was a CSM, correct?
He said he was a retired command sergeant major. That's what he said.
He said he
On many
was
different
a
occasions.
CSM, and he was. So he's not lying that he was. It's kind of like when Donald Trump says
Okay.
that he's president. He's not a president. He was a
Okay.
president. He's no
Listen.
longer president. So when Donald Trump says that he's the president of the United States now, is he lying?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Again,
Yes or no? Yes
listen,
or no?
Donald Trump has nothing to do with
Yes
this
or no?
conversation.
No, it has a lot to. It has a lot to do. Seeing as how he
Donald
is a
Trump is a
five-time
draft
draft
dodger. It has
No,
dodger.
nothing to do with this.
it's the hypocrisy is what I can't stand.
No,
You're
it's
not
not
calling Jay.
hypocrisy.
No,
Donald Trump was
it's
a draft
hypocrisy.
dodger. He has nothing to
Yeah.
do with this conversation. Stolen valor is much more serious to me.
But it
Walz has
wasn't
been
stolen
walking around saying
valor.
he did things that he
It
didn't do. He was
wasn't
not a
stolen.
retired command
How
sergeant
is
major
it stolen valor if he held that title
because
for
he
9
advanced
months?
his title in Congress. They even
Listen,
set the ticket up.
Anthony,
If you're going to
Anthony,
talk over me, I can't talk.
Anthony, how is it stolen valor when he was given that title and held it for 9 months? He's not lying about having that title.
Mr. Waltz was not, is not, and will never be a retired command sergeant major. He is a retired master sergeant. That is that is what he retired as. That is what he gets paid as. He is not a retired command sergeant major. He never saw battle. He never went. He never did anything. And then he made himself out to be this hero.
Shame on
and to
you.
people like me,
Shame
to people
on
like
you.
me, it means
That's all
something.
I'm saying. Shame on you. That's
Okay, and if that's all you can say is shame on me because I believe people should be true about what they've done in the military, then shame on you.
shame. No, shame on you for 24 years of service, and you're just saying fuck that because of a mistake of him
Don't
saying that
be a
and he
liar.
retired.
Don't be a liar.
You're supporting Donald J. Trump, who has degraded our
I
military.
said I'm an independent ass clown.
But
I'm not
you
gonna
said you're
pretend
voting.
I'm
You said you're voting. You said you're voting for him.
No, I did not. That never
Yeah,
came out
you
of my
did.
mouth. I said he's a draft dodger, dickhead.
Are you voting for him? Yes or no?
I don't know who I'm voting for right now. I came into
You're
this
voting.
conversation.
You're voting for Trump. You're voting.
No, you're just got your feelings hurt and you're all up in your own fucking self.
Dude,
I vote for
because
whoever
like
I
the
want.
thing is right, if you look at this from a reasonable person's perspective, you can look at Wall's record in Minnesota and see all the bills he passed, and he did it with a 60-60 split in the Senate, which means he had to get Republicans to go along with it. This bullshit you're promoting, and I'm a veteran, by the way, and I was in a combat zone. I worked on top of an aircraft carrier, but who even gives a fuck, right? Because the whole Iraq war was based on a lie from a Republican president, but we can get to that later, right? I don't give a fuck about any of this because it doesn't get women's their rights back. It doesn't lower my taxes. It doesn't improve the cost of housing. And I only have 2 fucking people to vote for, right? It's either Trump or Walz. So you want to sit here and pretend like it doesn't matter that Trump is a rapist. It doesn't matter that Trump is a draft dodger. Let's talk about Walz right now. The guy who passed like the most progressive legislation in Minnesota history. And you're such a douchebag, right? Did you want to focus on this bullshit instead of policy? Because you have no policy. Because you're a Trump tard, right? You're a Trump tard.
Listen, Moo. I never said any of those things.
I don't care, bro, because you come off as a Trump supporter. You're on here
We were talking
pretending
about
you're some
one
sort of
thing.
fucking independent,
Bro,
whereas
we
I'm
were
an
talking about
independent,
one
and
thing.
I realize that the Democrats are the only ones who come out with legislation for the middle fucking class, which is why I side with them all the time. If the Republicans ever did any
Why are
good
you so
goddamn thing
emotional?
for the middle class, you know what? Actually, Gates and AOC came out with some fucking legislation that you guys didn't support. They would have ended insider
Who's you
trading,
guys,
and it was a
dude?
bipartisan fucking bill from both sides. But I didn't
Moo,
hear
you're an
one
ass
goddamn
clown.
MAGA speak up, and you guys pretend,
Moo,
oh, we hate
you're
the
an ass
establishment,
clown.
we hate corruption. You guys don't even stand on your fucking principles, bro. And you're
you
on
keep
here
saying you
trash
guys.
talking a 24-year-old veteran like some sort of ass, right?
I didn't
you're
trash
just
talking.
completely like it's so off the fucking wall, bro.
Was I irrational when I just stated that I was not one way or the
You
other?
are
and all I'm doing is
irrational, dude,
pointing
because
it
you're
out?
worried about some bullshit when housing is outrageous, when there's corporate fucking price gouging, when we need to take on private equities and corporations. You're on here talking about some bullshit instead of
Because
talking
that's what
about
we were
real
talking
fucking
about, ass
issues.
crack.
I didn't go back to Iraq because it was a fucking lie from a Republican president. I did 2 fucking tours and almost gave my life working on top of an aircraft carrier, which is like the most dangerous fucking
Thank you
job
for
in
your
the world.
service.
And I did that shit for 6 years based on a lie of a Republican Party. So for you to sit here and advocate that the party who couldn't defend us from 9/11 is any goddamn good whatsoever and a draft dodger is a fucking ridiculous narrative, my dude.
I didn't say I was defending Trump. That's not what it was. You came in at the ass end of this conversation, and you
Bro,
weren't
I've been listening
We
the
were
whole
talking about
time. I've been in the
walls.
cheap fucking seats listening to you disparage a guy who's passed
wasn't
like so many
disparaging.
amazing fucking bills that would probably help you. And you're sitting here worried about some bullshit
God.
when you're looking at paperwork right in front of your face. And you still just hate this man for some ungodly reason.
I don't hate him.
It's ridiculous, dude.
I don't
Talk
hate
about
him.
some
Hey, can I-
fucking policy you want.
Can I answer Anthony on how it's disgraceful what he's doing?
Go ahead. Now, everybody on the panel is a veteran, except for attacking. But everybody on the panel is a veteran, Anthony. Go
Okay,
ahead, Greg.
Moo, would you serve again?
Hold on, Anthony. Hold on,
No, I
Anthony.
asked the question. Moo, would you
Well-
serve again?
Not if I had to do
Hey,
2
you
tours
are
based on a
right.
lie
You
from
are
a
right.
fucking
You are right.
Republican
Go ahead.
president. I wouldn't.
Moo, you
okay.
don't matter. Greg, go ahead. Let's hear how patriotic you are, Greg.
This is how goddamn patriotic I am. Why
Let's
he
hear it,
made me-
buddy.
Well, shut the fuck up and you will, bitch.
Go ahead.
If you look at the dates on his paperwork, he was administratively reduced to E8 8 months after he fucking retired. If he would have
Okay.
never wore E9, there would be no reason to do that. You disrespectful, goddamn Trump tape licking motherfucker.
Okay, are you done, simple-minded?
Simple-minded my ass. You sit here and
The
you
man
run your
walked around
mouth.
for
You
years saying he was a
disrespect.
retired command sergeant major.
He is a retired command sergeant major. He was
Is that what
only
his
reduced.
paperwork says?
He was reduced for benefit purposes
Oh, okay,
8
so
months
what is he
after
right
he
now, Greg?
retired.
What is he now, Greg?
He is a candidate for vice president of the United States.
No. No, what does his retirement paperwork say right now, Greg?
When he
That's it, Greg.
retired. When
No
he
one gives a
retired,
fuck.
You don't want to answer it?
No
Spit
one
it
gives
out.
a fuck. Do you know why no one gives a fuck? Because he lowered taxes for the middle class and small businesses. Every year he was in office in Minnesota. He did free school lunches and breakfasts, not just for public schools, for private schools too. He did the largest investment in public education in all history. He did the
Okay.
largest infrastructure bill in all history. And he did this with a 60-60 Senate split. So which means he got Republicans to bend to his fucking will. I want a guy
And
like that
he
in my
stole
government.
valor.
Instead of a bunch of obstructionists who caused Kamala Harris to have to do 33 fucking tiebreaker votes, which is more than any other vice president in history, because you're a bunch of goddamn obstructionists and you don't want to fucking legislate. And you're like, I'm an independent. I'm going to maybe vote for the people who fucking obstruct. For like 42 years I've been alive. They don't want the HCA. They don't want Social Security. They don't want public education. Like, who the fuck are you telling this to, right? I've seen them in action for like
Show the
42
love, y'all.
fucking years, bro.
42
And
years,
Anthony
really?
is the
That's
only stolen
impressive.
valor up here. He's the only person on this panel with no valor to sit there and disparage for 24 years of service because he wants to lick Trump's taint.
Here's the problem, okay?
I have no valor now, Greg. You're smart, bud.
You
Okay, it's
absolutely
Tom.
do not. You absolutely
Hold
do
on,
not.
hold on, Greg. Hold on, Greg. It's Tommy's turn.
Hey, April. Good afternoon. I apologize if I sound a little winded. I'm getting over COVID, but here's the problem and the hypocrisy of what I see. As a veteran, yes, U.S. Air Force. Some of us call us the Cheer Force, but anyway, as a veteran, I never disparage anybody's service. I will never even disparage J.D. Vance, even though I can't stand
Exactly.
the horrible cat lady that he is. And he's wearing eye makeup. Okay, no, I don't judge. No, I don't care. But here's the problem. If you look on my screen here, you'll see a Republican here, Troy Nels. Do you know Troy Nels? Oh, there he is. You got what is he smoking there? A little cigarette? I don't know what he's doing in that picture. It's a bad picture, but take a look at that.
Okay.
And that's the Texas Tribune. Before you come after me for being biased or anything, that's a Texas newspaper. Yeehaw! Well, in this situation here, Mr. Nels was wearing a Bronze Star that he did not earn,
And he should be treated the same exact way.
But still, the controversy is that this Republican didn't give a damn and said, screw you all, including the Veterans Administration and his commanding officer, said, screw you, I don't care, I'm still wearing this.
Okay,
Now
well, I care. I care. I would never vote for a person like this.
That's not the point. The hypocrisy is, why aren't you talking about this dude? Or how about another guy named
He's
Mr.
he's not running for vice president.
This guy is an active Republican. He's in your Congress.
No, I'm not a Republican.
I don't care.
We were talking about Walsh on the screen, numbnuts. We weren't talking about this guy.
Numbnuts. Boy, you just have no compassion.
You're just all over the place. We were talking about Waltz, and all I did was bring up the fact that these things are spreading like wildfire.
It's not the only people spreading are people that don't care about military service, that don't have an understanding.
I got on a Democratic call to talk to you guys to see what you thought, and everyone jumped me for no fucking reason.
No one fucking cares, man. I think the only one who fucking cares is MAGA. I think no one else cares except for MAGA. There's about 30 million people in this country with their heads up their asses who've been brainwashed by an orange idiot, right? An orange fascist, right? Right? An orange rapist, right? And they're totally okay. They're totally okay with a draft dodger and a grapist, right? But then they're like, oh, stolen valor, right?
Oh, may you hop down?
I'll hop down.
Shut your mouth,
down. So Anthony, if someone chooses not to serve again, they're trash. Is that what you're saying, Anthony?
If he's going to come on here and he's going to slander the military and go off because he had a bad experience,
Anthony,
he's got some internal stuff he's got to deal with.
Did he do 2 tours in Iraq? And did he serve 10 years?
I heard what the man said.
Yeah, and you're saying because he refuses to go back into service?
No, he could not find the fact that he's a patriot and he was over there to do a job, and then he comes back and he badmouths the military. I have no use for him. Go do your job, and if you don't like it, keep it to yourself. But you know what? We all went through boot camp. We all stood in the same dirt. We don't need that.
Well,
how about getting your facts straight?
Where did you serve, Anthony?
Before you accuse somebody of stolen valor.
Where did I serve?
What combat?
I served in Fallujah. I served in Iraq. I was in fight. And fight is a place. It's not a fight.
What?
I was all over the Middle East.
Well, congratulations. I commend your service. But why are you up here calling an honorable one of our brothers and sisters in the military stolen valor?
I came on just to question. Everyone started yelling at me because I was
like
these are out there.
Set in your ways.
No, I wasn't even going to jump up here until you started throwing the stolen valor.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, the stolen valor part is like what's ridiculous. The man served 24 years, and stolen valor. I guess on a civilian standpoint, when you're throwing it out for one reason, but we've always said stolen valor is people that claim to serve that do not serve. That's what stolen valor is.
I understand what you're saying. But stolen valor to someone who did serve is when people go around and they say, oh, I did this, I did that, I achieved the rank of this, and they didn't. That's a lie.
Anthony, why would they have to reduce him 8 months after he retired if he never achieved that rank? It was because it was for administrative purposes because he didn't complete the academy. That's all.
Correct. He never went to Command Sergeant Major Academy.
But he wore E9. It was National Guard there, high speed. Quit being stupid. Do some research before
Okay.
you go making those accusations. You're a
Okay.
dishonorable fuck if you accuse somebody of that without knowing for
Okay,
sure.
Gregory.
I'm
Okay.
just like you. I'm very passionate about it too. I don't accuse my brothers and sisters of that unless I know for sure. And that's
I
what you
get it.
should do too, high speed.
I'll listen to you, but I don't agree with the fact that the man's built his career on a lie.
He didn't build his career. He built his career on doing what he has to do for his country. And then, you know what? He did it times two. He said, you know what? I want to make this country, well, let me use a line from Trump. I want to make this country great. Here's my ideas. Let me run for Congress because I still have the passion, even though I gave my blood, my service, and my tears, and my oath, and my time away from my family, my children, everything. You know what he did? He said, "You know what? Let me
I've given all
step it
that.
up a notch. Let me serve this country again in our in our Congress here. I'm going to win 2 elections," which he did, and he had twice. This is not the first time he's had to deal with stolen valor claims, but he's done it again, and he's won elections. So this guy's going to be vice president here soon, and the best you could attack him with is some nonsense from J.D.
I'm
Vance
not
and Donald
attacking
Trump.
the man. I'm merely throwing it out there to see what you guys thought. That's what was on the screen. I would have never come on. He asked for somebody from the military.
Anthony, what
I
did
didn't
you do
request
after
until
your
you did that.
service? Anthony, what did you do after service? What are you doing?
I went back overseas after I got out, and I went to work for Blackwater, which is no longer around. It's triple sec right now.
Blackwater
Oh.
is Z, isn't it?
It is now.
Yeah, so it's still around. They just changed the name 3 times.
That's what I said. I just didn't say the new name.
So you were a mercenary for hire?
I'm not going to go that far.
I know what Blackwater and Z do.
We know what Blackwater is.
I was 0317. You can go look that up.
No, I know. I'm just saying Blackwater is. We know what they did in Fallujah. Remember?
No, I'm saying my MOS was 0317. You asked what I did. I just told you.
In the Marine Corps, or I don't know what.
In the Marine Corps.
I don't know what that is. I was Army.
Okay, well you can look it up. It's on the internet.
Well, since we're giving out numbers, I was 3PO51. See if you can figure that one out. Air Force Specialty Code.
Yeah, your specialty code, your intel.
No, actually, you're wrong. Oh, boy, that was a tough one. I was police.
Police. I'm looking right now.
The 3PO.
I wasn't on here to start an argument. Everyone's going to believe what they believe.
Hey,
I was
Bob,
just asking questions.
wasn't Blackwater responsible for a lot of unnecessary unaliving?
Indiscriminate unalivings, yeah.
Yeah,
Mine was
that's what I
just to
thought.
protect a base. I was protecting a base over there.
Anthony, I did not request to come. I did not request to come up until you started screaming out the stolen valor and being ridiculous and not hearing anybody. You didn't just come up and ask a question, or I would even have requested to come in the box.
Enjoy your group thing.
And I want to be clear, I wasn't critiquing the military. I'm critiquing George W. Bush. George W. Bush.
One thing,
Oh,
right
did
quick.
he leave? Did he leave?
He might have got banned. Did he get nannered?
I didn't see him get nannered.
In order
There's
for
a
it to
better
be
excuse.
stolen
He ran
valor,
from me.
you have to have gained something tangible, which he did not. To us combat veterans, it's offensive his terminology of saying that he served in Afghanistan, because we know that he did not.
He didn't say he served in Afghanistan.
Well, depending upon which video you've watched, he sure the fuck has. But
no, he didn't.
Okay.
When he talked about the rank ceremony when he was in Bagram, he was on the congressional junket. He was not. He never said he served in Afghanistan. He served.
Okay.
He
At what
served
point in
in
time was he
connection.
ever in Bagram? He was never in Bagram.
Yes, he was
Yes,
as
he
a congressman.
was,
High
as a
speed.
congressman. He did Veterans Affairs. He was head of Veterans Affairs.
He was the chair of the Veterans
as a matter of fact,
Affairs
he was on the
Committee.
Committee of Veterans Affairs and was the only one that voted against the Missions Act. The piece of shit.
He's done more for veterans than fucking Trump or J.D. Vance ever did or would. You need to look at what you need to start looking at what Republicans have been voting against the VA benefits over the last few years. They're not friends of us.
Exactly. And let me explain what's going to happen. And this is why I have to vote blue. I depend on my veterans compensation check because I got hurt in the military. It sucks, but the 60 gun did it to me. I was the last of the 60 gunners. And when I saw the Trump administration's last budget before he left office and what he wants to do if he gains office again, a 33% cut to my benefits is going to suck for me. And that's in his Project 47 or Agenda 47, whatever you want to hell want to call it, making cuts to my veterans access, whether it's my pay or veterans access, really pisses me off. And I'll
And
never
if
give my vote to the Republicans.
and if you're retired, Project 2025, which Trump can say he doesn't know anything about, that's ridiculous. We all know he does. They want to end concurrent VA disability and retirement. So what that would do is, if you're getting, say, 2,000 for retirement, 1,000 for your VA disability, they will no longer get the 1,000. They'll just make $1,000 of your retirement tax free. So there's you a nice little thank you for your service.
Don't care about what Walls did at all, and I completely disagree. And I don't think any combat veteran should care at all, because what happened was I'm way more offended by the fact that I get a VA loan, but because Trump allowed private equities to buy up all the single-family houses, my VA loan might as well be toilet paper at this point. That's what I give a shit about. And I am far more likely to get results to get that VA loan to be somewhat good again with Walls than I am with Trump, who called me a sucker and a loser. I'll never vote for that draft-dodging orange idiot.
I'm going to go ahead and drop April. Thank you.
I hope you feel better, Bob. Thank you for coming on.
April, I'm going to drop too. I do want to apologize for getting a little bit heated there, but I get really, just as much as he was getting emotional, I don't like to see a fellow veteran, especially somebody who's given 24 years, disparaged without somebody at least looking up the facts on it. And I do apologize for getting a little heated.
Oh no, I really understand it. I mean, as a civilian, I can't understand one veteran calling out another veteran. I
No,
don't get that.
It's
I don't
dishonorable. It is dishonorable as hell. And to me, every one of them, I have no respect for them. But thank you for letting me up, April.
Oh, you're welcome, Gregory.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep making those wonderful videos. We all love it.
Oh, every day.
April, what hell did you bring me to yesterday? What was that guy?
I tried to get Bog. Now I didn't know he was feeling bad, but I sent it to Bog too, because he was a veteran. And he started saying all kinds of shit, and I can't speak for veterans. I'd never speak for being a lawyer. I'd never speak for. That's why I always have to throw out to veterans, my friends.
Do I have to bless you with
be.
some sort of veteran holy water, and you can speak for us then? I can do
Veteran
it.
holy water? Does that come in diet?
It might. I'm sure JD would know. He's so fucking knowledgeable, right? So fucking.
Don't let him near your couch or the
Oh
zipper.
my god. Sectional assault.
Sectional assault? That's going on a t-shirt right away. Somebody get that done.
Thank you, Bog.
That was a big dinosaur in my face.
Yeah, he knows I love those long necks. Love the long necks. What you got, U.S. Marine?
What you talking, ma'am?
Are you making fun of how I speak?
Kinda.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know. Thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me up. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have him.
So is it wicked hardcore?
It's wicked hardcore, motherfucker.
You gotta park the car in the yard?
Where am I from, son?
I know where you're from. You're from Massachusetts.
Yes, sir. Boston, Mass, baby.
Boston. I'm from Marlboro, Mass. How you doing?
You're out in the fucking Marlboro, Mass?
I'm in the Marlboro.
You're in the
Before
Marlboro.
you tell me you're a Trump supporter and then I have to dislike you, I love your accent. I love your accent. It's beautiful. Okay, let's ruin it now.
100% Trump, sir. So you're a Carmella.
Carmella? What?
Carmella? Carmel? I don't know. How do you
God, it's good. It's it's terrible, but it's funny with the accent, right?
Listen, I'm going to take a ride out to Marlboro, right?
Oh,
I'm going to
gosh.
school you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Give
come
you a
on,
little
Marie.
lesson.
Don't dog Marlboro. Marlboro's a beautiful liberal city.
I've been to Marlboro, man. You live in the suburbs.
My wife was born in Worcester.
Worcester.
Yes.
Worcester's a shithole.
That I'll give you. That'll give
Sure,
you.
yes, sir. Marlboro's nice, though. What do you do, sir, besides aggravate fucking Republicans?
That's my sole mission in life.
I love talking to you, sir. Can we be friends?
I will make Republicans' life a living hell.
Can you
That is my
please
purpose.
follow
Become
me
a
and I'll follow
progressive.
you?
Listen, dude. You're really one of us, aren't you? You're gonna be one of us, aren't you?
Yeah, I just followed you, sir.
All right, I'll follow you back. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're one of us, aren't you?
I'm not in a fucking building.
You're one of us. Come on, man.
Nah, come on. Park your car in the Harvard yard.
What the fuck?
Come on.
That is so cliche, though. Come on, even my wife
Cliche,
would
I
say
know.
that.
Hey, you want to see my car keys?
No, he's pronouncing that hard R, though. He's
Okay,
good on
why
that.
did you want to come up, Marine?
I wanted to make fun of all you liberals.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
Now
good,
you
good luck
kind of
on
like us.
good luck on that.
I'm doing a fucking great job.
It don't sound like it.
It does, ma'am. Where you from, ma'am? I lived in the South for 10 years. I really did. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I moved to the South. Where in the South are you at, ma'am?
I'm in the South.
I do eat
Well
crayons,
said, April.
by the way. 100%. Marines eat crayons. Let me give you guys a very helpful tip. The United States Marine Corps Reserve every year at Christmas time does Toys for Tots. Do not, I repeat, do not send crayons to the Toys for Tots. They'll never make it to the kids.
Oh, gosh. You're going to get a lot of people mad at you, dude.
We're in the South, ma'am. I'm from Massachusetts. Where you at?
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina. I was at Camp Lejeune.
If you make
do
fun
live in
again,
Revere.
I'm just gonna drop because this is for learning experience. So
I'm trying to teach you, ma'am. Trying to teach you. It's a learning experience. I'm trying to teach you.
Oh my God.
I do live
What are
in
you
Revere.
What are you gonna teach us?
Wait. Someone just said I live in Revere. I do. I am from Revere. Revere. Revere.
Did you know that Mitt Romney's favorite meat is hot dog?
Fucking, I like Mitt Romney.
Yeah, I know. Why would you vote for Trump? He doesn't like Mitt Romney.
Love that dude. He's out in Utah now.
Well, but Trump doesn't like Mitt Romney, though. Why would you vote for Trump if you like Mitt Romney?
Listen, just because I don't like you doesn't mean I might not like your buddy. See what I'm saying? That makes sense?
Okay. I mean, what do you like about Trump?
Oh, everything.
Everything?
Everything.
You
Hold
like
on,
that he
sir.
wears diapers?
Biden's the one with the diapers, sir.
I mean, you just everything. What's a policy of his that you like?
Policy?
Yeah.
Look at the economy when he was in. Look at the drilling permits when he was in.
I mean, you know he did an OPEC deal to cut
look
oil
at how
production by
many
9.7 million barrels a day, right? And that cut oil production across the world by 10%.
No,
because the oil companies were going out of business, right?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. That's the
On
OPEC Plus deal.
on the Biden,
That's
you have
the
to
OPEC
pay
Plus
higher.
deal.
Sir, I lived in
Jack, look up
Louisiana.
OPEC Plus, okay?
I lived in Louisiana for 10 years. I know the oil field. So under
What's
Biden,
its name?
you got to pay like higher royalties. They shrunk the amount of areas that you could drill. The X-line pipeline was shut down, and you're paying $4 a gallon for gas. I bet you drive a moped.
What
Oh
pipeline?
my God! Did he really say the XL? That's why
I
gas
bet you drive a
It would
moped, sir.
not even. It would not even be
It would have
running
decreased
today.
it would have decreased how
Oh,
it gets
my
transported.
Jesus.
This girl is definitely from North Carolina.
Did you just mute him?
That would not. I just muted him.
you.
You should have muted me, ma'am. It's very disrespectful.
The XL.
The XL.
Oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, y'all. We're gonna have to find another play toy.
April, can I tell you a quick story?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, like back a few years ago, right, there was this horrible virus that spread across the whole world, right?
Thank you.
And then people didn't really drive around too much anymore, you know, because there was a horrible disease everywhere, right?
Yeah. We stayed in our houses.
Yeah. So the price of gas dropped real low, right? And what happened is because no one was buying gas and the oil companies were still producing a crap ton of oil, Donald Trump met with the oil companies and he was pivotal in playing a role in what was called the OPEC Plus deal, right? Which I'm not saying whether this is a good or a bad thing, which saved a lot of the oil companies who were going broke because it cut the oil production by 10%. And this was a global deal. This is an OPEC global deal to cut oil production by 9.7 million barrels a day. Okay? And it saved the oil companies from going out of business, right? Now, you can say that's a good or a bad thing because I personally don't like the oil companies and I don't care if they go out of business, but that's just me. Okay? But that's what happened. And then Biden expanded our drilling and is now exporting more oil than like any other president in history because demand went back up because coronavirus isn't as big of a threat as it was.
That's right, Moon. Let me see if we've got another Trump supporter in here. Let's see. I don't recognize this one. Oh, that was fast. Whip. Can't take it? Oh.
Do I ruin it? Do I ruin it? Like, do I destroy the live? And I'll hop down if it's like if I'm too critical,
No, don't. I have the same problem. Trump supporters are very vocal in the comments, but then you invite them up.
Yeah, they don't have anything.
Did you?
And that's why they never come up.
April, can I show you this video real quick? I'm in my COVID jail right now, so it's hard for me to talk. I'm going to show you this video of the man who's fixing to try and be our president. I'm going to turn my little effects off here real quick, if you don't mind. Just give me
but we're going to play it in the small box because TikTok always gets me when somebody plays something.
Yep, that's fine. Just listen to this guy. Watch what he says.
We can't hear it.
Oh, hold on. Let me blast it up. I'm in my little COVID jail right now trying to get over this. Okay.
I would show you. Wait a minute. I don't know if you've seen this. I used it once. Oh, I have it. I do have it. Look at this. Look at this. So, this is Tic Tacs, right? I don't know if I like the company. I've never met. I have no idea. They're so lucky. Look at all the television. This is the greatest commercial they ever had. But that's what happened. This is inflation. This is Tic Tac. This is inflation. This is what's happened. I just happened to have somebody gave me this one today. I said, I think we'll put it up as a.
Lord help me, ladies and gentlemen. Are you really going to vote for this idiot?
But you got to give what he said in the beginning. I'm sorry, y'all. My neighbor will be done in a minute. He's got the loudest mower. But you've got to remember what he said at the beginning. He said his people told him to talk about the economy, but he don't think that's the number one problem.
Yep.
So that's what he said. He said he was told to talk about that. So we're going to have it. He said, what was that? An intellectual discussion? But he doesn't think that's the number one problem. And then he has the whole Tic Tac example. Darn idiot. Holy cannoli, are you a Trump supporter?
Please tell me that's not what it is.
Huh?
Holy cannoli.
Maybe he didn't know he's up.
Hello?
Holy cannoli. Oh, he's trying to get out now, I think.
Is he running?
Yeah, he went
He's a runner.
Oh, no way. He put in the chat. I'll hop you down, Holy. Holy. And Sharon, I see you, dear. Blair.
April, when are you gonna start? When do you play games again? When are you gonna do your game show?
Hello.
Hello, Blair.
I've been waiting to get on for I've been waiting to get on for like an hour now. Give me like 10 minutes. I'm in the middle of something, and I'll hop back on.
Okay.
Moo, I think you and I are gonna have a really good conversation, man.
Okay.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Got you.
Okay, I'll disconnect you till you get done doing whatever you're doing. The trivia. I can start trivia back up.
Yeah,
If
that was
you
kind of fun.
know,
I never got a chance. You always did it when I was working. I would always get a chance to play, but I couldn't get the reception.
well, would you all rather do the trivia? Everybody that comes to church service and all, so everybody misses trivia. Okay, so we'll try trivia this Saturday. Okay,
What time?
y'all give me a hand.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Yeah, that sounds great.
I'll be right back.
Okay, give me a hands up, y'all. Oh, everybody said yay trivia. Okay, I'll go back to trivia on Saturday.
April, I got
I'll
COVID.
mix it. I'll mix it up, Grammy.
Yes. Current events. How about that inflation report? Everybody's got to be happy about that. It's been a great couple of months for Joe Biden, right? Dang,
Holy cow. And then this morning, he got 10 more drugs dropped down. Not even, it was a 3/4 drop.
He just
in
patting that
price.
resume. Just patting that resume.
See, the thing is they don't want to talk about any of these things. They want to talk about, a dude who served for 24 years. They don't want to talk about any of the policies he's done or all the wonderful things he got passed. They just don't care, man. They don't care.
They want to talk about the bill that Tim did to make sure that all students could have free protection when they're menstruating. Free pads and tampons. They have such a problem with that. Oh my God, he put 10 free tampons in the schools.
It's important that we say this out loud, right? The only reason they have a problem with that policy is because it helps trans people. It helps trans people, and that's why you don't like it. That's the only reason you don't like it. Because you're the only ones. You're the only ones who are concerned with bathrooms. It's you guys, man.
I think I'll bring this one out for old time's sake.
Yo, I honestly see us. Hold on just a minute. On Taco Ready, it was cool. Trump, the duck is cooked. Oh, I know, Royal. He is. Trump is. It's going to be, y'all. I think we could get 60 in the Senate.
It's just going to take everybody going out there. I know everybody's exhausted from voting. Everybody's been voting these last couple. It feels like we've been voting almost every day.
Yeah.
But right now, especially because I'm terrified because I do believe Kamala is going to win. I don't believe it's going to be that close. I think she's got enough momentum to take Trump in every key battleground state. But my fear is Republicans are going to be jackasses. I'm sorry, I have to call them jackasses. Jackbutts. Sorry, I'll cover it up. They're not going to certify the election results. They are going to do everything possible to not sign their names onto the certification of the results for each state, which, if you know, causes chaos, which will send it back to the House. And if you know how the rules work, the Republicans will win and declare Trump the victor, and even though he'll be the loser.
Wolf, don't you know all the ballots from this upcoming election are AI? All of them. They're all fucking AI.
Yeah. All the ballots. All of Harris's rallies, it's just AI. Nobody's supporting her.
Yeah,
It's going to be AI now. That's what it is.
And we still have Louis DeJoy, who I think is going to make a lot of terrible decisions come this election cycle. So that's another thing we got to look out. And I'm encouraging. I just got my sample ballots today in the state of Florida. Everybody's got to learn how. I hate to say this, like we're grown adults here, but learn how to fill out your ballots. Republicans have changed the game. So you've got to learn how to cast your vote and what's got to go into it. Like my state, my ballot's got to go when I mail it in. It's got to go inside a cover envelope, inside another envelope, and that envelope's got to be signed. They are going to find every which way to disqualify as many votes as possible. Like Trump said, he doesn't need your votes. And you know why he's been saying that? Because he doesn't care about getting votes, because he knows what he's going to do if he should lose. He's just going to whine and moan and make Republicans that are on state election committees not sign and certify the results. He knows what he's doing. This guy is not, he's not stupid. He's not saying these words like, I don't need your vote. I don't care about your vote, because he really doesn't. because he's a spoiled little rich boy, and he's going to beg his little goons and little minions on election committees and election people that are going to out there and not certify the results, just like they try to do in Fulton County and other counties in Arizona. I mean, for crying out loud, we still got Carrie Lake running, for crying out loud, and she's still trying to overturn her defeat. Lord have mercy.
I know, God. I just saw a video with Marjorie Taylor coming out saying how we need Carrie Lake to help Trump. So,
God,
bullshit.
Like
crazy, y'all.
You have to understand that how I look at this shit, right, Chad? I'm a vet, but that doesn't mean I know everything. Like, I don't have some secret sauce where I know everything about the military, right? I'm just telling you guys how I feel, man. And how I feel is I had to do 2 tours in Iraq because of the lie of a Republican president. And that's and everyone, you guys all told me, and we all told each other, dude, never again, right? And then you put Trump in office. You guys said never again, man. We all said never again, right? And that's why after I did 2 tours in Iraq and I finally understood that this whole thing is based on a lie, I'll never vote for a Republican again, I never will. Because they can't defend the country.
They don't care about helping the country any. None whatsoever, not the American people. They're only looking out for the corporations. Anything that enriches their lives and keeps them in power, they could give one rat's ass what actually happens to us. They don't pass any legislation that actually helps working Americans or poor Americans or the elderly or the veterans or anything. They just don't care.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect. I mean, it's been stated. I'm sure you've heard this one a lot over these last couple of weeks. But while Governor Walz was signing legislation to make sure your children in his state can get fed in schools, Miss Sarah Huckabee Sanders was signing legislation so your children can go to work at 15 and 16 years old.
Yeah.
Do you see the dichotomy there?
Yeah. It's quite the stark contrast. No, thanks for having me up, April. I'm not going to be long. I'm good at doing dinner and all that shit around this time of the day. But what I was wanting to tell the guy that was disparaging veteran, any of you veterans out there listening, I just want to say shame on you if you're disparaging Tim Walz' service. You didn't know who the man was 2 weeks ago. You didn't know anything about him, and you're being outraged for him. I know I sound like a broken record, and I'm sorry, April, but I've got to say it because they're only outraged about this because they are lied. They're taking everything about Walz and Kamala for that matter too, and distorting every single thing they can distort. In the media to make people have a different opinion and reject him. And it's just sad that people are being twisted up that way to disparage another service member's service. It's just, it's icky to do it in the first place at all. But it's even more equal, or more icky to me to think that people are doing it out of just manipulation of media and facts and things they don't care about. They're just being made to hate the Walz-Harris ticket. So I think that's gross. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm having a fun time gaming here.
And also, you got to see what the new outrage. You have all these public officials. You have all these congressmen, senators. You got Ted Cruz. You've got several others, plus J.D. Vance, coming out and blaming the Democrats for trying to unalive Trump. They'll say, well, they tried to impeach him. They tried to lock him up. Then they tried to unalive him.
It's getting ridiculous.
It's horrible.
And they don't want to accept the fact that the individual that committed said offense, until otherwise stated, was a registered Republican. I have not heard anything that contradicts that statement. But here's the point. I don't want to downplay what happened to Donald Trump. I don't atone for it. I don't like political violence. I don't care for it. It's not necessary. But, when Trump sits there and says, knock that guy out, go do this, go protest this, and stuff happens, he causes some of the violent rhetoric to happen. And now something happens to him. Do you see how the wheels spin in this world? You know what I mean? Perhaps if we tone down the violent rhetoric and stop saying this stuff over and over and over at rallies, telling people he'll cover their legal fees, perhaps he wouldn't be wearing a freaking maxi pad on his freaking ear. And what's weird about that is I felt bad for him. I don't want to see anybody get hurt because I'd rather beat him at the ballot box. But I watched his little meeting that he had when, he came out and look, I got a Band-Aid on my ear. The cultists were wearing Band-Aids on their ear. That was the weirdest damn thing I ever saw. The cult members, it's like when you go to a wrestling show, a professional wrestling show, you buy the t-shirt of the wrestler. They bought a t-shirt and put it on their ears.
They had a wrestler there. Hulk Hogan was there, dude. You're not even joking, right?
That was sad because Hulk Hogan. I'm a professional wrestling fan. April knows this. My wife knows this. She rolls her eyes every Monday because she has to watch wrestling with me every Monday. But Hulk Hogan, I grew up with Hulk Hogan. I said the prayers. I took the vitamins. I did my exercise. I was a Hulkamaniac to the end. And we got a Hulk Hogan. I spent so much money at Hulk Hogan's store down here in Orlando. And I just look at that shirt and I just threw it away. I just threw $25 down the drain. I'm like, damn, son of a bitch, man.
Did you watch the cartoon? I used to watch the cartoon.
I in California, it was hard to get. I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna make you guys get gray hair now. On the Cartoon Express, they didn't come on. It came on some weird gummy bear cartoon, and I didn't get to see the Hulk Hogan cartoon. But in California, we had a different Cartoon Express. Yeah, I just went old school on you guys. Look that one up, the old Cartoon Express there. But anyway, Sharon, I didn't know you were a gamer. You're a hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she be blowing shit up as she's cursing out Trumpers.
Do you play Helldiver, Sharon?
I've heard of that, but I haven't played it now. I'm just
okay,
so
well,
addicted
you
to
do
the
hit me
world.
up, okay?
Yeah, Helldiver.
Yeah, Helldiver.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Too.
I'll look into it.
Sharon, you
if
play
you
on
ever
VR
get Battlefield 1, let me know. I'm sorry?
You play on VR?
I play on, no. I play on PC.
Yeah, PC. Okay, you ain't got the new one of those. What do you call those? MetaQuest.
No, I don't think I'd want to do that. I'm real prone to motion sickness, like side to side. On the side of me, motion sickness,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how I would do with something like that.
Ooh,
so I
you might
haven't really.
hate No Man's
I've only
Sky,
done
then.
it like my ex has a really good setup, and last time before I moved out here away from him, and I went and tried it out, and it kind of made me kind of icky feeling in the tummy. So I was like, yeah, maybe this won't be
How'd
for
you
me
get
after
so
all.
good at Warzone, Sharon?
What's
See,
that?
y'all, I saw this excellent VR that it's a stand you stand on, and you have these things on your feet, and it can actually, you're doing everything and you're actually running, but you're not having to run around your house. You're in one spot,
Like a little treadmill
running
deal.
and stuff. And I'm like, dang, for exercise, I ought to do that. I could be, trying to track people, running and diving, and
There's a girl that does it on this app that's got one of those platforms that she's like kind of like strapped into, but then the platform she stands on, she's got like these little things that you put over your shoes to make it smooth, and you can sit there and actually do the movements by it. But I don't know, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. She's on here. She does it. I catch her live every now and then when I'm scrolling. But
I wonder what one of those called.
I don't know. It's a good. I'm imagining it's not cheap.
You just need to get the setup. I have the MetaQuest 3. You need to get your visor, and then you can buy the other thing. Like I think they run for about $400-$500. I mean, it's an investment, but once you get into it, like I play my MetaQuest every other day. It's fun. You just got to get used to it.
No. That's too much. I can't see that in a game and system. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I've done the whole Wii thing, and Wii was fun for a while, but then I realized that I ended up not doing it as much as I was doing, sitting on my ass playing on my PC.
Xbox One. Not Xbox One, but just Xbox 360 and all. Holy cow! Me and Trevor would play. He would be in his room on his, and I'd be in the living room, and we'd go together. And my tag was Mom with Gun 13. So, yeah, I played Modern Warfare. I played all that shit. I was pretty good too.
Hey, April, I think we got a little idea here. We got to get a little gamer clan going here and just dominate on Warzone.
I'm gonna stick. Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? I'm gonna stick with trivia though. We'll do trivia this Saturday, y'all. I'll put out a video to remind everyone, and we'll try to do it around 3 o'clock where it's not so late. Like have it from 3 to 6,
Sounds good.
and we'll do trivia then.
Oh, but come on,
Yeah.
April. Come on, I'm going to bring you back old school. I'm part of the generation that was blowing in cartridges and stick them in the NES. Come on, who hasn't done that yet in the chat?
Oh
If
my
your
God.
console doesn't have any wood grain on it, it ain't worth shit. All right? Yeah.
Who
That's
remembers
right. Wood grain and
Atari
Atari.
blowing on them and sticking them in there and wiggling it again? It wouldn't work.
Well, that guy never came back, Moo. The one that said he was gonna come back in 10 minutes.
No, I know, man, and I figure. I mean, what are people even gonna say, dude? Because I don't like. The thing is you can't argue against. So my concerns are housing, taxes, and the Social Security program, right? Because I'm 42, and these assholes are telling me I can't retire until I'm 70 years old, right? That's why I don't care about anything they say about walls, right? And like, yeah, I'm a vet. I don't give a shit about anything that happened with what they're talking about. I just can't bring myself to give one shit. I just can't.
With all the important issues we got going on in the country right now, and they're worried about the tampons in the bathroom. They're worried about oh, was he this rank? Was he that rank after spending 24 years? It's bullshit. It's all a deflection because Trump is so bad. They have to put out bad stuff because look at Trump. There is nothing good about Trump. He's a corrupted, con man, convicted criminal. He's the 4 C's. 4 C's. Convict, con man, convicted criminal.
What branch? MOS? I was an AD2AW. I was an aviation machinist mate. My first tour was on the Kennedy. My second was on the Washington. I was off the coast of Iraq most of the time fixing HS-50. The Navy calls them Greyhawks. They're the same thing as Blackhawks, except they have like an automatic wing fold to make more space on the boat. And most of the time I was working on top of an aircraft carrier.
Oh, you had the badass job, man. I would love to work. We train with Navy all the time in the Air Force because we do combat mount training with Navy. You know, they would learn how to do tactics with us. We would learn how to do tactics with them. And I would love to sit on the carrier and just watch like the catapults and stuff, just to sit there and watch. I would love to do that.
Like the coolest thing to do is watch the resupply.
Hold on just a minute, y'all. Hey, Joe, come on up. Come on up since you said Trump owns me and my brain. Come on up, Joe. Can you speak for yourself, or are you just going to sit down there and whine and cry because you're going to have a woman president? You're going to have a madam president. Are you going to cry, Joe? You going to cry?
I'll buy him a Nintendo Entertainment System when he comes up here.
So I was a medical.
Well,
So
at
one
least
time,
at least he's honest. He said yes, he's gonna cry.
so I was a medical administrative specialist in the Air Force, and I worked in the medical records department. And we had a general that was taken or had presented to the ER, and he had a small jar of Schmucker's grape jam up his ass, lodged up his ass.
Now, Sharon, how did you find out about this information?
I worked in medical records. I ain't gonna say his name. I'm not doxing him. I'm not good. But I just, that's the kind of military service I had. I just letting y'all know. Y'all have all these interesting service. That was the most interesting thing that happened during my service. Anyway.
Was it Concord grape flavored? What?
It was Smucker's. It was actually. It was Smucker's Concord jam. A little
This is
tiny
from the
jar
first
of
day.
it. It was a little tiny jar of it that was stuck up his rectum, and he had to go to the hospital and have it extracted. Yes, that actually happened, ladies and gentlemen.
These are the discs from the very first day that World of Warcraft dropped, like 22 years ago.
This is not up the ass jam. And what a jam he was in, huh?
Here's the expansion pack. I'm sorry it's in bad shape, chat, but I keep these because,
Oh my
like,
God,
you know, like
he's a
here's
geeker.
like there's the original Wrath of the Lich King, right, guys? And here's a Super Nintendo. This is an original Super Nintendo. You know it's original because it's discolored,
It's yellow.
guys. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to pull out the old Rob the Robot now. I really got you old school now.
I wish I had that shit, man. And look, I only have a few games for it though. I only have like Street Fighter's tight though, right, guys?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Street Fighter's good. I still have Donkey Kong Country. I've got Donkey Kong Country, and I think I have Street Fighters and NBA.
Do you guys remember what this was,
Super
though?
Scope. Now, I don't think you can show that on April's Live. It's a damn bazooka.
Yeah. If you guys know what this is, you are my childhood as well. Okay.
I have to say this real quick, April. This has been one of the best lives. We've talked about Ass Jam and video games. I think I got a new title for your live, April. Ass Jam and video games.
And it reminds me of that song, Pump Up the Jam, pump it up, throw your feet up, stomp it.
Oh my God!
I mean, I'm sure Red Wolf sounds to be the same, but Chad, I've been gaming for so long, Chad. It's crazy. All right, it's absolutely insane.
Oh goodness. I'm so sick I can't breathe.
Only
Y'all have
you
me
would
rolling.
think of that, Sharon. Sharon, only you would think of that.
Ass Jam. Pick your flavor.
Oh Lord!
Honestly, I swear to you, more often than not, when I go to get jam, it crosses my mind. I have to tell you, it does. I can't lie.
That's why
Do
you
you
never mix the
kind
pieces.
of lean to strawberry though now?
First there was duck butter, and now there's ass jam.
Every now and then, I like a good old PB&J with Concord grape jam, but most of the time, I like strawberry, and I like blackberry and strawberry mixed together. Anyway, enough of a jam talk. I'll shut up now.
Wait a minute though. Chat's like, oh no. Does people in chat actually know what duck butter is? Do you guys know what that is, chat?
No, I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's sweat off your junk, my friend. Only
I don't want to
it's
know.
sweat off of
Okay.
white junk.
Oh no, yo, that
PG-13. PG-13.
Oh God!
That started with an
Of course
S and
you
ended
would,
in
Michael.
Oh goodness.
I thought there was a
Okay, we
different name
gotta
to that.
clean it up. Is
Clean
there a
it up.
Trump supporter? We've got like 10 more minutes before we're gonna call it a day. Is there a Trump supporter?
Is it enough time to cook, chat? Is it enough time to cook anything?
Yeah, it's time to cook. If they'll come up.
April, what you making for dinner today?
Hey, there's the guy that said he want to come up. Oh, we're having Subway today.
Oh, they have a sale on today.
That's what I had, April.
I went and had a coupon. It was like 3 subs for $17. So I got one for me, my man, and my son.
Nice.
Dude,
That's
you
what
can
I
make
had.
a Subway. I found out the hard way that if you add that double meat and you get extra pepperoni or something like that, you're paying $24 for a damn sub.
Oh no, I ain't nothing extra. Nothing extra. I like the All American pretty good.
I'm a
Okay.
sweet onion chicken teriyaki guy.
Well,
Double
what you
meat.
got, Blair? You came back. I didn't think you was gonna come back.
I'm trying to fix something at work here, and it's not cooperating. So I'm just saying fuck it for now. So I just want to preface this. So I'm also a gamer, like a very, very avid gamer. I competed in Apex Legends. I don't know if you guys know what that.
Yes.
Don't make me like you if you're gonna disagree with me.
No, not that I'm going to disagree with you, but yeah, I competed in
Hey,
Apex.
we can all come together. We can all come together on this issue.
I guess I think just a story, I think a lot of us get caught up in what Republicans and Democrats like to do, and that's a lot of pointing the finger and blaming the other side, and it kind of leaves us at a standstill, right? Because now you guys have lives, and you ask the other side to come up and debate you, and we do the same thing. It's a vicious circle, and nothing ever really changes, right? If you're going to vote for who you're going to vote for, you're going to vote for them no matter what. It is what it is. Now, sometimes independents like myself, we oftentimes aren't decided. So that's a lot of times we are the ones that decide and determine votes. Now, I live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is in my opinion, Pennsylvania is going to determine the election because, and I want to get Moo's stance on energy, on how we generate our energy in the country. Are you guys all? I'm guessing you guys all support Biden and Harris when they talk about using solar power and dams like hydro dams and wind turbines, stuff like that. Am I incorrect?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with nuclear too.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. So just so the argument's fair. So my career field, I'm a substation electrician for First Energy. So I'm responsible for the power grid. I maintain it. I make repairs. That's our job. So I guess the main reason, probably one of the biggest reasons actually, I'm voting for Trump is because of his energy policies. Now, the dude's fucked up. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that he isn't. I think everybody has a little dirt on him. That's never gonna change, right? But when I work every day and I drive through neighborhoods and cities, and I see people advocating for electric vehicles and things of that nature, it makes me pause because I don't feel like people are educated when it comes to this specific topic enough to make a decision. So not that I'm trying to sway anybody, but I just want to talk to people about the energy crisis from somebody that actually works with electricity every day. So we have a couple of solar fields in our footprint, and I'm going to try to. I don't want to go too engineer on everybody, so I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can. If you guys want to look up power factors and stuff, you can. That's fine. But essentially, a solar farm, like a full solar farm that you guys will drive past and see every day. Some of you probably see them. They generate about 5 MVA on a good day. That's the energy that they're putting out back into the system. So a solar farm would be taking place of a nuclear plant or a coal plant, stuff of that nature. Wind turbines, wind farms do the same thing, and hydro dams, like the Hoover Dam, does the same thing. Out of those three, the hydro power is probably the most consistent because as long as gravity exists, we will always have flowing rivers and streams. So therefore, it will always be producing energy. The issue I have with solar is if it's not sunny, you're not getting as much power put into the system. If there's no wind, vice versa. They don't put nearly as much power out as like a nuclear plant. Nuclear plants will generate about 1,600 MVA. That's a big difference. So I guess why am I telling everybody this? So when you turn on your air conditionings, when you turn on your heaters, when you turn on when you plug your electric cars in, that puts load on the distribution side of the system. You have a transmission side and you have a distribution side. The transmission side is what supplies the distribution side with power, right? So that if the distribution side is calling for more demand and the transmission side cannot meet that demand, you have what's called rolling blackouts. If you look at a lot of third world countries, they have a lot of rolling blackouts. They have to turn power off in certain areas to conserve energy. So the issue that I have with clean energy is that we're going to come to a point where we're going to require a certain amount of power. And if we're only relying on things that aren't reliable, I know it's kind of cliche, but if we're relying on things that aren't reliable, we're gonna run into issues. Now, I heard April, you say you like nuclear. You agree with that, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think nuclear is clean.
So, well, it's.
I don't
it's
like
not,
the byproduct. I don't like the
Yeah.
byproduct of it. But
It's not clean per se, but yeah, I know what you mean. The issue with nuclear plants is when you shut them down, when you decommission them, you can't start them again. That's it. They're done. They can't be used. And that's what I really disagree with, especially Democrats are very, 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 very big on climate change and clean energy. And to touch base on the climate change briefly, that's a whole nother conversation. But the Earth goes through cycles where it cools and heats naturally. And we're kind of right in the middle of one of those. I know greenhouse gases are obviously, they exist. We play a factor into that, but it's not as big of an impact on the environment that we think it is.
Well, can I ask you a question, Blair?
Yeah, go ahead.
What policy is Trump? What has he presented that he's going to do
In terms of climate change or in terms
of energy? He just says he's against green energy. He's against electric vehicles, but then he brags to Elon.
Yeah.
And if you heard the conversation the other night, that not the stupidest shit. And Elon had to correct him on Chernobyl and what Hiroshima.
Yeah. I've always been an advocate on letting professionals talk about their own careers and leave the amateurs out of it, because that's why they're in that field to begin with. For example, and I'll get back to what we were talking about in a second, but for example, with the whole military stuff, I wasn't in the military. I didn't ask to come up here because I don't know what I'm talking about. I wasn't in the military. I didn't serve. My grandfather was in the Navy, which is great, but I didn't serve. So I don't really have any stake in that game. But in terms of your question to what is Trump going to, or back to the Elon Musk conversation, I did watch it. I did think certain parts of it were a little bit ridiculous. I think the most that we probably could have gotten out of that conversation was it was cool from a financial standpoint to listen to two billionaires talk about the economy. I think there were definitely things that we learned from that conversation, good and bad. I think that Elon is probably a little bit more biased to Trump because they can relate in an area that none of us really can. They don't have to, they don't have to struggle like we do, right? They don't have to wake up every morning, any job that they go to. So in that regard, yeah, I completely agree with you. I think there's things that they talked about that were absolutely ridiculous, 100%. And in terms of like energy, I don't know if he's going to be successful, but he's going to try to keep nuclear power relevant, and he's going to try to keep coal plants relevant. And that's good for us.
What is the harm in solar and wind and hydro and all these other ways that we can create? What's the harm in that?
I can explain that. So
please make it short, though. You're monologuing a little bit, but if you could just kind of sum it up. Thank you.
So it's not that there's an issue with them. It's that they're not reliable. They're not consistent enough.
The sun's not reliable, sir? Are you for real?
Ma'am, I'm talking to you from somebody that can go and work there.
I mean, you do acknowledge that there are solar panels.
He doesn't even believe climate change. One more quick question, then I'll shut up, Moo. Do you or do you not believe in climate science? That we need to be doing something to mitigate the harmful effects of climate change going forward? Or do you just think that, it's weather patterns? Which do you believe, sir?
If you would have listened to me earlier, I said that
I did listen to you, and you said so. You do think that it's man-made, and you think we should be doing something about it. Transitioning off of fossil fuels, which puts carbon into the air, is how we reduce it, sir. I don't know why is that difficult for people to understand? I mean, it's not complicated. We're not talking about doing away with oil tomorrow. We're talking about transitioning off into renewable energy.
Can you let me speak?
I'm done. I just think it's ridiculous that you're arguing against doing this. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, oil and gas are not finite resources. So let me explain to you what I was talking about. So yeah, we definitely play a part in climate change, 100%. And I said that earlier. I do not disagree with that at all. But with that being said, yes, and weather patterns and climate shifts are different. Climate's more is regulated by ocean patterns and stuff like that. Weather to an extent is too, but they're two different things. April, you asked me a question. I feel like I didn't answer. Can you ask me it again? Oh, the problem with solar? No, I think.
What is he going to do? What do you think that he's going to do?
No. You asked me about the issue with solar, wind, and hydro.
Yeah. Why can't we start implementing that stuff to go along with what we have now, where we're not just using what's destroying the planet?
What? From a point of view of somebody that works with the power grid every day, it's not. We are actually transitioning things in with nuclear and coal. That's not the issue. We are using things. We're trying to. It's more of like a testing phase. And Sharon, you did mention earlier that the sun is consistent, and that's true. It is. But the more sunlight, less sunlight you have, the less power is generated by solar panels, and that's the problem. It's like
That's why there's other means.
I know
There's multiple
I agree.
things, you
And,
know.
is everyone not seeing that maybe we're 20 to 25 years away from the greatest technology that was done last year? Do you not realize they figured out how to harness the sun? Do you not realize that happened?
I agree. I agree. And they were trying to harness lightning too. I can get in that. That's a whole other conversation. If we could harness a lightning bolt and power New York City for a year.
But I mean, for the first time, they held it. They captured it. And they're saying maybe 25 years down the road, that's great news. We can do now stuff to prevent. And then when that technology is available, fusion energy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Johnny.
Yeah,
And with that technology, yeah, I mean, we can. And are you just worried about your job? Is that it? Because you're always gonna have a job.
Yeah, agreed.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess.
So I'm not understanding your deflection of wanting to get clean.
I'll put it kind of more in layman's terms. I know Sharon made a good point. I kind of am monologuing a little bit. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to be rude by that. It's just that it does lose people in the weeds, and we need to kind of, go ahead.
So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you put solar panels on your house, because I saw somebody make a comment about this, when you put solar panels on your house, it's completely different because it's scaled down so far. If everybody wants to do that, great. Awesome, cool, because that actually puts energy back in the power system too, believe it or not. It actually, the power company will buy that electricity back from you if you generate enough. So that's great.
Some states make it illegal, I don't mean to interrupt you, but some states can't do it. It's illegal because the oil and gas barons control our government. I just want the creators of the Heritage Foundation. I just want to make this quick point for people who haven't connected the dots. Nothing against you, real quick. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
That's fine.
The Koch brothers are the number one people who have been responsible for flooding our politics and disinformation with regard to climate change. They created the Heritage Foundation Project 2012. Yeah, I just wanted to make the whole thing come around the circle. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So when I say that they're not as reliable, what I mean is when you have a nuclear plant online, when you have a coal plant online, that generates a more consistent flow of energy, more consistent flow of power. When you don't have wind turbines aren't generating power. When it's cloudy or it's storming or it's nighttime, solar panels aren't generating electricity. So now they're relying on coal plants, nuclear plants to pick up that slack. Water, out of all three, I completely agree with water with hydro dams, 100%. I think other than nuclear and coal, I think water is probably our next best source of energy because it's consistent. It's always there. As long as gravity exists, as long as the Earth's spinning, right, water is always going to flow. But the only downside of water is you have to have a certain amount of volume to turn the turbines. The bigger the turbines, the more energy you create. So when you look at this, like scale it into a bigger number, if you look at just the East Coast alone, I'm sure everybody could look up the number of how much energy we used last year. I don't know what that number is. I'd have to look it up. But that number is only going to go up. The more electric cars that we create, I'm not discontinuing them. I don't think they're a bad idea. But the government is expecting people like me and people in my field to compensate and to make sure our grid is at a functioning level to handle all this increase in load. And I'm telling everybody that it's not. It's not going to be. So I think instead of trying to rush into or trying to force, not that they're forcing, but trying to integrate other means of power to replace nuclear and coal, I think we have to look at the levels of emissions. I think we have to come up with some kind of an agreement. We can implement things slowly, see how they pan out, and then go from there.
Well, isn't that what they're doing? They're implementing things slowly, Blair. It's not like, next week, we're going to have all these
but it was the
electric
election.
pumps and stuff. It's
transition.
not, no. It's a transition, Blair. And if that's your reasoning for voting for Trump, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's ridiculous.
It's not that they're rushing. It's more so, and maybe you guys know this more than me, but the electric car policy that I think it was Biden that he put in place, right? That he was.
hasn't put in. Yeah, go ahead.
Did somebody mandated electric vehicles?
No, they didn't. We are
Who
wanting to get to
man?
that point,
Yeah.
but we're not going there just yet. Just look back to your point about the BTU in 2020, according to EIA.gov, 93 quadrillion BTU, the country used in 2020. But look, it will have to be. Let me ask you. You know a lot about the energy consumption.
Yeah,
What do you know about the effects of climate change? Scientists have said that that sea level will rise. Do you know how much sea level will rise if just the ice glaciers on Greenland alone were to melt? Do you know how much sea level would rise?
It would. I think it would probably cover the whole West Coast.
21 feet.
Yeah,
9 meters, 21 feet, or 21 feet. So I mean, like even if we're wrong, we have to switch over. What would be the harm if we're wrong? We have cheaper energy ultimately. If we don't do anything about it, however, because we're going to pay for climate change one way or another. It's either going to be on the front end to try to mitigate the impacts of it, or it's going to be on the back end of cleaning up after disasters that are caused by it. And so I don't know why there's just so much aversion to it. I think most of the aversion to it are people who typically don't believe in climate change at all, or they work in the oil and gas industry, which climate change and transitioning to renewable energy will put said climate or fossil fuel energies out of business. So you may have a lot of stock in the oil industry. Something is driving your beliefs on this, Blair. What is it?
Oh no, I don't. It's
just a weird thing. It's a weird thing to die on the hill of, though, for Trump, though. To be honest with you, it's weird unless you have investments or unless you have some sort of stake in it. It's kind of an odd thing to bring up, like, oh, I'm voting for Trump because he's better on energy. What? He's going to drill, baby, drill. Okay, whatever. It's your generations that are going to be fucked with. I don't have kids. I don't have any skin in the game. Okay, I'll shut up now.
I think you're going to be disappointed, man, because one of the big issues we have is we're actually behind from where we would be, and the power grids don't actually get government subsidies as much as they should, and as much infrastructure work as they should,
100%
right? Because they give it all to the fucking oil companies who have kept us behind years after years after years, right?
And I agree with Sharon on that too. Yeah, oil companies are no good. I agree with that. 100% agree with all that stuff.
Yeah, so, you're a reasonable person. I thought we were going to disagree, but I agree with a lot of things you said. And I understand your idea around consumption because as electric cars grow, right, more people are charging them at a time. So you need more electricity all at once, right? I understand what you're saying, right? I get it. But the thing is you have to understand that sodium-ion batteries are on the way, and then probably more advances in batteries after that, right? And now we have AI, and we're gonna be at like 0 point energy by 2030. They projected, right? And of course, you won't be able to put fusion into a car and power a car with that, right? But once we have a fusion reactor, you can pretty much power every city in America with that, right? And 2030 is not that far away, so come on.
We actually almost got sent down to Texas a couple times because of the power grid. Sorry, I was reading the comment.
You're in Texas?
What's that?
You're in Texas?
No, I'm in Pennsylvania. I said that. Come on,
Oh,
April.
God. You said the word Texas. I'm like, holy shit, and their power grid, and you're coming up here. Holy shit.
No,
I bet you've had to go down to Texas to work, haven't you?
Linemen usually get sent. So my job's a little different than what linemen do. I work in the actual, fencing, the actual... you know what I'm trying to say, but substations and line pole work are two different things.
Yeah, I know what you do. Do you know? Can I tell you a story? What Trump supporters did last week? The FBI arrested 3 Fort Bragg soldiers that were shotsies. You know what I'm talking about? And they were going to do what they did a few years ago, going around shooting up the substations in North Carolina. We had 3 substations hit a few years back, and they were going to do it again. Ain't that some shit?
Well, I'll tell you what actually really concerns me about that is our power grid is so fragile that if people think other countries aren't taking a look at how to attack us, they're naive. That's the easiest way.
Yeah,
that's all. Oh, go ahead, April. Go ahead.
No, you're right. So, Sharon,
April,
to your point to the oil thing, I agree with you. I think oil companies are nasty. I think they're thieves. There was a story when I was in Votech when I was young. I'm 31, but so when I was in Votech, a while, 12 years now, I think. There was a story that came out that our teacher shared with us of a gentleman who actually developed a fusion water powered engine. And see what these big corporations will do is they'll sweep in, they'll say, here's some money, go hide. And they'll take that and they'll patent it and they'll put it on a shelf. They do it all
You're
the
a
time.
progressive. What are you doing voting for Trump? What are you doing?
I told you, man. When I look at everything, that's why I register as an independent. When I look at everything, and I haven't really done too much research on Kamala. I think I fucking always say her name wrong. But when I haven't done too much research on her, but just being in this field, I guess that would be my stake in the game. Just being in this field alone, and seeing the demand for power and things that we have to do to change that and help improve that.
I mean, you're involved in technology. You know that solar powers are shortly on the way within like the next 2 years that can collect just as much sunlight at night as in the day. And you know what's coming with AI. You sound like a smart person. Do you really want Donald Trump getting a hold of a fucking AGI, my dude? I believe you might even know what that is, actually.
You have to. I actually don't know. You have to educate me on that, man.
So, an artificial general intelligence, right? By 2030, OpenAI is scheduled to have like an artificial general intelligence by like 2028, 2030, right? This is an AI with an intellect and IQ of like 300 plus, right? And you want Donald Trump to get a hold of this goddamn thing. I think that would be one of the worst ideas in all human history, to be honest with you.
You want to know? You want to know what I really would prefer?
Well, hold on just a minute, Blair.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got Boomer in here, and Boomer hasn't got the chance to speak.
Okay, that's fine.
Boomer, do you want to add something?
Uh-oh.
April?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was not trying to come up here.
Okay, sweetie.
I'm driving. Yeah, I'm driving. I can't come up. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No.
Have a good one, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have to really consider
Okay,
the
go
scary
ahead,
shit
Blair.
that's coming out, right? You just have to consider the scary shit that's coming. Okay.
I think it's here. This is what I would really prefer to happen, but it never will. I would prefer for all of us to get along. I prefer all of us to find a middle ground. I prefer all of us to have a little bit more control in what petitions in general are able to do to us and the people that we love, right? But
Those days are over.
I know that. I know, and it's wishful thinking, and I get that.
But you're voting for the guy that's causing most of the division at this point. So I don't think. I mean.
And when you put someone that puts in Supreme Court justice,
I am a Christian,
and they know that
there it is,
that two more is going to retire, and they're going to put younger ones in there, more Republicans that's going to last longer, and they've already made 3 horrible decisions that fall in line with the 2025 project, the affirmative action, the Roe Wade, and the Fisher decision.
Did you hear him say it? Did you hear him say it, April?
No,
he's a Christian. Now we know why we're supporting Trump. He's a Christian.
Is that what it is?
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, Blair. We want you to watch something, because the Republican Party has used your party since the 70s or even before. There's a documentary that you need to watch. It's free. It's on Tubi. It's called Bad Faith, and how they infiltrated the Christians, the Republican Party. That's why you hear, if you're not, you can't be Christian and Democrat at the same time. Well, this is how it all started. This is how it all started.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I agree.
They used Christians.
I can listen. I can say I'm voting for Trump and agree on a lot of different things with the two of you and anybody else that comes up here. A lot of times we want, you don't even get this far with anybody else. And I think like that's where we lack like progress, is that as soon as we hear, I'm not saying you guys do it, but there's a lot of people on both sides that do this. As soon as they hear somebody disagree with their point of view, they immediately shut them down. And then progress never happens.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think that you're just a more, you've got more book learning.
No, that's true. I mean,
I think we're gonna find the separation point right here, Blair. Here's what I'm gonna tell you, man. Right? So I can't vote for a guy who's breaking the Constitution, right, and taking rights away from women, right? Because here's where our problems are going to come from. The 14th Amendment says in order to qualify as a person, right, you have to be born or naturalized, okay? Fetuses are not persons. Do you know who the person is? The person who's carrying the fetus. That's a person. They have rights. So a fetus does not have rights. And you could promise me the best job and the best economy in the world, right? I'm never going to vote for Trump when there are women on tables who are giving birth to unviable fetuses, and then their reproductive organs get wrecked on the way out, and they can no longer have children.
I agree, and I now, do you think it would be better for this to be a federally mandated law or state or up to the states?
I think there should be a federal,
because you have places like mine, Blair, where the majority is Republican and they've got a super majority. And they vetoed everything out here in North Carolina. But you have this group of Democrats that don't and women that are stuck in these states. And what if they don't have the funds or the means to go out of state for a problem?
No, I agree.
It has to be a federal thing.
We agree on that. I completely agree. I agree.
Okay, so if you agree on that, let me ask you this: do you think that something that's been precedent that the Supreme Court has already made a decision on, should another Supreme Court bring up the issue and flip it?
Can I? Let's see how I want to word this. Can I answer the question with a side remark as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think a lot of times you have political warfare. So somebody on here said it earlier, and I really agree. I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, I might even been on a podcast that I watched earlier. Someone said on a video I watched earlier today that Democrats do this, Republicans get in, and then they do that to combat what the Democrats did, and then the Democrats can then combat what the Republicans did. So it's political warfare on all scales. So I think.
But it used to not be that way with the Supreme Court. Even the Roe Wade was a 5-4 decision. It wasn't, all 6 of them, and then it was Democrats. No, you had Republicans reading the Constitution and actually interpreting what the Constitution means. Now you just have, the Supreme Court just doing it out of feelings and knowing how they lean. So you had the 3 come up and said they would not touch Roe Wade. They said that in their hearings, that it was precedent and they weren't going to touch it. And then what did they do? They touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just out and out lied. And it's all because of the Christian nationalist movement that's going on. Not Christians, don't get it confused.
Yeah, right.
It's
Agreed.
the crazy Christian nationalists that believe this whole country should be one religion and our government, everything should be run by that religion.
Here's the beautiful thing about faith, right? Is that you're not dictated on what you can believe in and how you believe in it. That's one of the beautiful things about America, is that we don't regulate that. Other countries, they do. Other countries, you'd be killed if you don't believe in certain things they believe in. Everybody knows that. What I don't like about Christian nationalists and extremists like that is, I'm going to preface this by saying I do not disagree at all with LGBTQ. I don't believe in what they do is right, but I don't hate anybody. I'm not going to ridicule.
What the shit are you doing voting for Republican, dude?
I told you it's plainly based on energy policy. That's it. That's the only reason.
Shit. I don't believe
But
you. You know why?
You're picking that policy. For some reason, I don't believe you, because you're taking people's human rights away, but you're gonna, because of something that Trump may or may not do. That's the line you're going right there. You're gonna vote for something that Trump may do or may not. He's promised a lot of things, Blair. He promised the coal industry was coming back. No, it's not. It's not. It's never going to come back the way they think it's going to come out. It's never ever. So he promised all the infrastructure, health care. He's promised all this other shit that he hasn't done. The only thing he did was a tax cut. That is the only fucking thing he did. And I'm sorry, I'm cursing if you don't curse, but
No,
he
no,
gave
I
he gave the
I
working
curse, yeah.
he cursed he gave the working class and middle class a 1 to 2% cut, while he catered to the elite and the rich and the corporations.
Yeah, I have my thoughts on that too. And Moo's probably gonna interject when I say this, but so capitalism in America. I'm gonna try to explain this the best that I can. I'm probably gonna mess it up, but well, actually, before I do that, I want to touch base on the abortion thing. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell women what they should do with their bodies. I'm not doing it. It's stupid. It's moronic.
You
I'm not
are,
going.
but you
No.
are by voting Republican, sir.
I know
Yeah.
that, but at the same time, though, people that vote for people that I'm not going to say this about you guys, but others would say you guys are voting for Kamala for certain things that you like that she does that Trump doesn't want to do.
No,
Right?
I just don't want to get in people's business.
I know.
It's none
Yeah,
of my
I understand.
business what you do or
I
anybody
understand.
else. It's not that I agree with something. We live in America and we have the freedom. You have the privacy. They have stripped some women, all these states have stripped the right of privacy away. They have taken that fucking away. Now everything they do in a doctor's office, you know, you even had it, DeSantis wanted a menstrual calendar on women. Are you kidding me, Blair?
Yes.
It's stuff like that. Wanting to implement Christianity in the schools, what not Colorado, Oklahoma, making it mandated that teachers have to teach out of the Bible. See, there's certain things. This is America. And I feel if you're that strong and you want Christian nationalism, find a place where you can do that because our Constitution, our way of life was for freedom from all the bullshit, and to be who you want to be, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, bottom line. And the government's not to infringe on that. But when you vote, you're voting for them to infringe on everybody's rights.
Can I address something quick, April, if you don't mind? Somebody said in the chat. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Pammer said I'm a typical self-maggot. Listen, if you had somebody that was proclaimed maggot person in here right now, they'd be screaming and hollering and cursing. I'm trying to meet on a middle ground. I'm not up here to try to force anybody to vote for Trump. That's not what I'm doing.
That's fine, but you have to understand why we question your motives of why you vote for Trump. When you are okay with letting them take the rights away from human beings in America because of energy costs, I don't buy it. I think you're a Christian nationalist, and you can't come out and say that because it's not favored upon. Are you okay with Project 2025 and being ruled by a theocratic dictator? Because that's what you're voting for, sir. Whether you think you are or not, that's what you're voting for. So I'm not sure how to take
Did you see the new video today that got leaked? Blair, look at the new video that got leaked. Somebody had a hidden camera while they were talking to the leader of Project 2025, one of the leaders.
That's nice. Sorry, go ahead.
And you need to watch that. They're going to implement this shit whether it doesn't matter who's in there to make the transition. They're going to implement it.
Just to give you a little bit of perspective on something here, Blair, because all of my issues with Trump, right? We don't know for sure what he's gonna do, right? But here's the thing. I'm Ukrainian and German, right? My grandparents, my one grandparents, they fought in World War II. My other grandparent fled Germany to come to America, right? I'm basically mostly what you find in Israel, right? I'm a mix. My mix is mostly what you'll find in Israel, right? Trump is telling people that he wants to give the police full immunity and do the biggest deportation ever. What I figure is he's going to give the police full immunity and then them have go to door throughout the country and knocking on people's doors, right? You're advocating this to me. Do you understand, right?
Yeah, I completely see where you're coming from, man. I do, seriously, 100%. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I do. Can I ask
He
you? Well,
said he said he
You're a
wanted full
progressive.
immunity. He
no,
wanted full
no.
immunity
I'm
from.
able.
He wants
Go ahead.
full
Sorry. Go ahead.
immunity. He wants full immunity from prosecution, Blair. Full immunity. So cops will be able to do whatever they want. He's already said day one deportation, and it's going to be bigger than Eisenhower done. And we've done this. We've done this twice in our history, and we're not going to do it again. Because think about it: if they can't find undocumented immigrants, how are they going to find these people to deport? Blair, think about that. It's going to be a lot of profiling, a lot of people pulled over for no reason. It's going to be it's going to be crazy. So how are they going to do that? Because when they did it in the Mexican Repatriation Act, they sent Americans. They sent Americans just because of the color of their skin, just because they were Mexican. They sent Americans, and they had to fight and struggle to get back after it was over with. There's some history in this, and that's what Donald Trump wants to. And then he's going to make the police immune from prosecution. Jesus Christ, what are we looking at? I know
So,
people think
yeah.
we're just race
Kiefer.
farming,
Mhm.
but we're not. It's out
No.
there, and it came out of his mouth. Every bit of this I'm talking.
Yeah. It's the recipe for disaster, as if we don't have enough unarmed black men, overwhelmingly or predominantly. That's still not the word I'm looking for. Disproportionately, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Black men still
it's going to be like a
disproportionately unalive by
star.
cops. Then we're going to have the stop and frisk thing for anybody that's not Lily White's going to get stopped to see if they have
Yeah.
papers so they can. And then that's going to cause problems. People are going to be pissed off about that because it's going to affect American citizens. And then the cops can just unalive them and then never face. Do you think that's a good recipe there, Blair, or is that a recipe for disaster?
Well, at face value, without doing research, I would have to say that's a recipe for disaster because I don't.
It
Again,
is.
some of the topics we talk about, I'm not as privy to. And Moo, you said it just a while ago that I'm a progressive. I think where the confusion happens is that if we have a certain set of beliefs or even one belief that we're immediately labeled as this or that, I can sit here and listen and take in information from the three of you and agree with things that you say. That doesn't mean that everything that we talk about I'm going to align with, but that's what humanity is about. That's what trying to make changes about. There has to be things that we agree on, right? Has to be. In order for change to happen, positive change, there has to be things that we agree on. That's where a lot of the problems lie, though, is oftentimes if we don't agree on one topic, we don't agree on anything because all we hone in on, all we focus on is the one topic we don't agree on. For example, when it comes to women's rights, if we could find a middle ground, I don't agree with abortion, but I'm also not a woman, so I don't really have any stake in the game, right? But if we could find a middle ground, I'm not gonna speak on birth control per se because, and I'll use my girlfriend as an example. It was not good for her when she was on it. She seemed fine. When she got off it, it destroyed her. She was sick for 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean, certain things like that, I don't believe in. I think the woman should be able to choose 100% without question. If a woman is great, 100% without question, she should be given the choice, right?
Your voting says otherwise.
You see what they're saying in the chat, though?
I know.
But see, it's the reason is because people. I'm gonna say like me and Mo, and I could throw Sharon in there too, but I don't think Sharon is as far gone as me and Moo. But we feel, and Moo's an independent. He's not aligning with any party, and he's called out Biden for his bullshit. But here's how we feel: the Republican Party in general has never done anything for us Americans, poor, middle class, whatever. Everything they have done has benefited the corporations and the elite. They've not implemented any good policy that would help poor people. that would help starving kids, would help the homeless. They say they're going to do this, but they've not implemented anything. Nothing. Think back to all the way to Reagan. Nothing. Not a darn thing. Nothing. And people just praise the Republican Party, and all they've given them is, oh my God, Donald Trump give you a 1% to 2% tax cut. Yeah, he gave you an extra $20 on your paycheck. Holy shit. Really? Why people's going without homes? Why the elderly are worrying about paying for prescriptions and being able to survive on their minimum Social Security that they get? That's the difference between the parties. And that's what it's not all about our rights. Is that the Republican Party has never done anything for working America, for the regular people that's kept this country going. They've not done a damn thing for us. And that's why we can't sit back and get along with people that keep trying to destroy this shit.
I think we're getting along.
Want everyone to have a house. We want people to not be food insecure. We want people to have things they need just to survive. Hell, it's too much now. You've got people living paycheck to paycheck, and if they have something major happen, they're fucked. They could lose their job. They could lose their home.
I did take
medical issues, and that's why, Blair, that we say that it's so hard to come is because you all are fighting us tooth and fucking nails in getting the stuff that an easy fix, just like Moose brought up. If we could cap Social Security, you take the cap off Social Security, remove that cap. That people could retire when they're 55, 60 years old.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So,
I mean, there's all kinds of ways to implement, but you all are so for the rich and everybody talking about regulation. Yeah, I love that. He's going to deregulate everything. I love it. Now, the average person, those regulations are protecting Americans. It only benefits the rich when you deregulate something. It doesn't benefit the average person. And he's the king of deregulations. He wants you to be unsafe. He wants to take away the 3-letter agencies. He just said the other night with Elon that he wants to get rid of Department of Education. Why the hell does he want to do that, Blair?
Yeah, I don't I don't really take. Oftentimes I take things Trump. I don't take things Trump says at face value because I think.
Oh my God! But you're gonna vote for him. See, that's the dumbest shit.
I have a question.
You should, because too many other people take every word he says as truth, so you should take him seriously.
Can we get into economics quick? You actually brought a really good point up, April.
Preferably not. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Aaron, come on.
Okay, a few more minutes, then I got to go.
I'll say that out loud.
Some dinner.
So, just in terms of from an economic standpoint, I want to think about how I want to start this conversation. So, I would be considered, I guess, upper middle class. I don't even know anymore. I guess that's where I would be considered. The middle class. Do you
make over 200?
No comment.
Okay, you did it. Well, you're upper middle class. Okay.
Yeah. So, in PA it might not be. It depends. PA is a really expensive state to live in. But anyway, so what I want to touch base on is the middle class. I mean, we can probably all agree the middle class drives the country economically. You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so if the middle class isn't spending money, the economy can't grow. You agree with that?
No, I think it takes all Americans spending money.
Yeah, but
for the economy, for the country to prosper. Yeah,
I think that's where we disagree also, because the middle class. It's not
just the middle class. No, there's very few middle class, Blair. That's what you're not understanding.
That's because it's shrinking.
Yes.
Right. I mean, every union endorses Kamala, right? And Walls got so you have to understand something, my dude. You are appearing to be against corporations, which is good, right? But your candidates don't show your true face, right? Because Walls, his biggest contributors since he's been in office are the unions and Michigan State or Minnesota State University, my dude. So the thing is for the first time ever, I get to vote for a guy who hasn't cashed in on his office. You can't say that about Donald Trump, right?
I agree.
I have an opportunity to vote for a guy who has passed some of the most progressive legislation in all American history in his state, and he did it with a 60-60 Senate split. There's no way in hell you're going to convince me that I should vote for Donald Trump when I finally have a pathway to getting corporate money out of our politics for real.
Yeah, and that's an inherent danger too. Like with anything with politics, because of American capitalism, big corporations are always going to have a hand in what goes on, and it sucks, dude.
The hell they are. Who says they are always going to
We
have it?
can stop
Yep.
it, Blair.
No,
But
we're gonna
see,
stop
you're
it.
the problem.
We will not be able to
You're the
stop that.
problem. You're stopping
Yep.
us.
We will not be
You're
able to stop
stopping
that.
us.
Yes, we
Yeah,
will.
yes, we
Let
will.
me give you hey, hold on, Blair. Let me give you if I could, I'll give you a super quick example of how we can at least start making them start acting right. Have you ever heard of the Stop Bezos Act that Bernie Sanders put into place? Do you remember hearing about this?
I have not.
So he basically went to Jeff Bezos and said, okay, Jeff Bezos, you're starting to get pretty big, and a lot of your employees are going to end up being on the government tit in the way of subsidies if you pay your workers too low, kind of like Walmart has done throughout history and other multi-billion-dollar corporations. So he said, we are going to, you're going to either have a choice. You're going to either raise your minimum wage to $15 an hour, or we're going to fine you. I'm going to pass legislation where we fine businesses whatever money they're on the government tip for, we're going to fine them that amount so that the U.S. taxpayer doesn't have to subsidize the workers of these multi-billion-dollar corporations. That's an example of holding corporations accountable. Do you think U.S. taxpayers should be subsidizing the workers of Walmart or any other billion-dollar corporation?
You mean due to the minimum wage increasing?
Well, no. If a corporation decides to pay their workers so low that they end up having to go on subsidies like SNAP or Section 8 or any other government service where tax dollars have to fund it, do you think that taxpayers should be on the hook for that, or should we force the corporations to raise their wages enough to where they don't have to go on the government tit?
Agreed.
All right,
Well,
that's just one example, hon. That's just one example of how we can start controlling the corporate abuse in this country. And finally, we have Gen Xers that have watched the corporate takeover of this country, like myself and April here. We've seen it happen, so we got Gen Xers that are going to be running shit for a while, and we'll start seeing. All we have to do is tell the corporations enough is enough, and we've got people power behind that. The power of the people is more powerful than the people in power, and that's all I have to say to that.
Let me think about how I want to respond to that, because it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. I think when it comes to like the middle class in general, I think April, you're the one that said that the middle class isn't solely responsible for putting money back into the economy, and that's correct. You're right. But I think the middle class, if you put it in percentages, I'd say the middle class probably accounts for like 60 to 70% of the economy. Putting back into the economy.
It's not large enough to. At one time it was, but not now. There's such a small sliver that's actually in your category, Blair. A small percentage. The majority of the country makes below $100,000 a year.
You have to understand, right? We're talking about the large. We're not talking about small businesses. Republicans like to bring in small businesses, like they would be affected by these progressive tax plans.
They would.
Well, they would benefit. They would benefit.
Because if the corporations are being held accountable, that makes it better for the small business. If a larger corporation says, "Well, fuck it, we'll go somewhere else," well, you say right back to them, "Fuck you! You're going to have to pay 600% tariffs to bring your products back in America, the biggest consumer of every fucking thing."
No, Blair, we're talking about different types of taxes too, right? Like I'm talking about like the income tax, right? Where I want to do I want to cut anybody making, and this probably isn't you, unfortunately, but honestly, man, based on what you're saying to me, I think you're doing all right. So I want to take anybody who makes $200,000 a year or less, and I want to cut their taxes in half. And then I'm not going to put that on you because this is not you. I'm going to put that half on the top 10% of the country. Okay?
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. Why? Because America was doing the best when we taxed the shit out of rich people and it didn't allow billionaires. And we enforced antitrust laws and it didn't allow these huge conglomerates, right? That's when America did best, okay? Walz is very much that type of person, okay? So that's why I'm voting for him. I'm not going to get into all the nasty, disgusting things that Trump has done to women, which is an issue, and it should be for you too, since you're a Christian.
It is. I don't
discount for this man.
I don't discount any of that. I do not. I don't discount any of that.
And you know, the first time ever that we had a balanced budget and we had a surplus was during Clinton. And you know what the tax rate was on the corporations? 39%. If we would just, but Trump said, hey, wait a minute. We're going to drop it down to at least 21, drop it down 14% for the rich. But the best time the country does is when we do this. The greatest time in the history of this country is when the corporations were paying their fair share. These people that made extraordinary large sums of money, billions.
I'm going to try to explain this the right way, and I'm probably going to mess this up, and I'm going to try anyway. My belief as to why corporations were able to be taxed as high as they were then is because we had a lot more infrastructure in the country that wasn't being outsourced to other countries. That's part of it. I think another reason is because the middle class was larger. We were able to compensate for a lot of things. So my issue, and this is, if I had an issue with capitalism, I would say this is probably like the only issue I have with it. When you heavily tax corporations, they increase all the prices of their inventory.
They're doing that anyway.
They do it anyway.
Yeah,
it don't matter.
Blair, that's a common myth.
You fell into it. Yeah, you fell into
that's a common myth. That's a common trickle down economics myth. If we tax the corporations, here's the thing. We could start out just simply by making the corporations raise their minimum wage to put more money in the hands of consumers and people that are going to put into the economy, and keep them off the government tit. Let's start there, and then for small businesses, say if the business is less than 50 people and they're struggling to raise their minimum wage up as per government guidelines, well, then we just simply take some of the money that we're currently given to the multi-billion-dollar profiting, fossil fuel industry in subsidies that we're still giving them for some reason, and pluck those bitches away and start giving them to small businesses that want to start up so that they can meet the same minimum wage standards. Look, man, there's ways to fix this. Unfortunately, it sounds like you've been sucked in by the corporate bootlicker rabbit hole, and that's where you're at. Stop protecting billionaires. They don't care, and they've gotten too good of a ride for far too long in this country. It's time to stop them.
Start protecting the actual Americans, Blair.
You need to start
protecting the rich.
You need to start taxing capital gains, right? You need to start looking at the stock market too. Not just these corporations directly, but indirectly, with all their derivatives and hedge fund managers, and all these buyback programs, right? All these stock buyback programs. They artificially inflate the market. It's fake value. It's not even real, right? But somehow, when these people's businesses go under, they make a shit ton of money and then leave their workers high and dry, just like Enron, right? I'm not talking about small businesses, my dude. And these corporations are worldwide. And just because they're in heavily regulated countries as well, they operate all over the world. So just because we regulate them and finally start holding them accountable doesn't mean they're going to miss out on the billions of dollars still to be had.
Hey, Moo. April, do you mind if I address something that's I stream? Like I told you I'm a gamer earlier. I stream. I just have to address something somebody keeps saying in the chat because it's driving me nuts. You mind if I address it quick?
Yeah, yeah, and then we're gonna have to go.
Okay.
So
Hopefully
go
you were
ahead.
listening to what we're talking about,
I
though.
am. Yeah, I always will. I will always hear others talk. Always. But this is addressed to Fi. Please, 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 when people are debating, and this is anybody else that's being disrespectful to both sides, try to be respectful to whoever's talking. You're here to watch and be entertained. Like April's nice enough to bring people on. This isn't even about Republicans and Democrats. Just be polite, be respectful. If you have something nice to say, then say it. If you have something constructive to say it. But don't attack the panelists. Don't be rude. Don't be condescending. Like, come on, we're all here. We're all here having a debate. We're all here talking. I'm not being aggressive to anybody. Moo and Sharon and April have been very good to me. Okay, let's keep it at least a little bit. I didn't say I was being attacked. I never said that. That's what I just said. I wasn't.
Okay. Well, you gotta quit.
Reasonable.
Yeah, you gotta quit looking at the chat too.
I stream, so that's just it's part of the job.
Okay. So all I'm gonna say is you're welcome to come back, follow me, and we'll have more discussion. And next time we'll show you. I'll bring you documentation. I'll show you the facts of stuff, that everything that you've learned that we can prove the other side of it. And that's what I like to do in this room is we show a lot of facts. Sometimes here lately I can't bring stuff up because my darn background TikTok's went all crazy and
they're
messes my whole background up.
Mm-hmm.
But Sharon always has her computer, and we all Moo does, and he'll bring stuff up. But yeah, follow me and we'll have this conversation again. But yeah, you know how we feel.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm always
It's
willing to
not.
listen.
We don't think as ourselves as when we vote. We're not thinking about me. We're thinking about we for the better of the country. We're thinking about everyone, our neighbor. I'm thinking about somebody in Nebraska. I'm thinking about the poor woman in Nebraska.
You said that.
I'm thinking we're doing it as a we, a collective. That's right. It's not about me and my pocketbook or anything. There's bigger issues now than what Donald Trump. The border, we don't care. I'm telling you honestly. I've seen through my lifetime. You're young. You're 31. My whole life, and Sharon can tell you too. We're the same age. That our whole lives, every election, this is the damn stuff. The damn border, because they only have the border, social issues, whatever's the hot topic of the day, whether it be drag queens, LGBTQI+, and then you've got 2A. That's the only platform Republicans have, is to push fear to its base that we have to do something now. Vote us in. I'm going to make sure these bad people's not going to mess with you. And we totally disagree with all this shit that's going on. We've got bigger fish to fry here. And we want America to thrive, and we want everyone in America to thrive, be healthy, raise a family, have a home, not worry about shit. It's crazy.
Can I ask one final question? Do you mind? Just short question.
Real short. And then I got to go eat. I'm hungry, y'all.
So, do you think this is gonna be such a generic question, but do you think the bipartisan system helps or harms progress in this country? Like the way we have everything set up right now, either you vote Republican or Democrat. If you don't vote for either one of those,
we would have it totally switched. We would get rid of lobbyists. We'd get rid of Citizens United. There would be no fucking PACs. You would get everyone gets the same amount of money across the board. That way, it makes it possible for others to run. I believe in ranked choice voting, all that. But right now, this is what we got. Till we can get rid of the money that's in our government, we ain't gonna do nothing. So we got to promote the people that can make change. That's what we do now. Till we change it, we got to push the people forward that can make change.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said
this is definitely constructive. I think See, these are the kind of conversations that other podcasts should be having, because, like, believe it or not, I know like in a lot of other chats are very, you know, cruel and stuff, but this is what people need to hear. They need to hear others debate in a friendly manner, not screaming, not yelling.
But you know you're not typical, right? You're not a typical
I know,
Mac.
but that's a problem.
Okay.
That's the problem. Because there's people that are belligerent on both sides, and if we can all get on here and just communicate and try to find some middle ground in certain areas. I know that's not possible when it comes to certain stuff, but
You and I can, but
Right.
Trump and I won't be able to.
Right.
That's
I
the
agree.
problem,
I
my
understand.
dude, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I respect that. I completely respect that, and anybody else's right to their own beliefs and what they, you know, what they want. I completely respect all that. I always will.
All right. Well, everyone, it's been a great live.
Yep, much
I'm
love.
going to
Much
go
love.
eat something.
Nice
Yeah,
talking
don't
to
forget to follow me,
Yeah, you
and you
too,
can
man.
come up again, and we'll have a discussion. You
Thanks
can
for having
bring
me
up
on,
the
April.
topic, and oh, you know you're always welcome, sister.
Oh,
So
I was raised with my grandparents too. I don't know. Somebody had mentioned that earlier, but yeah, I was adopted by my grandparents, so I just wanted to answer that earlier. So
oh
old school.
no,
Old
the
school.
boomers.
Yeah, they were great. They were God sent. They are very far Republican. I know that's going to shock everybody in here, but I do not. Some things I don't align with that they believe in, and others I do.
Watch Bad Faith on Tubi, Blair. We're telling everybody to watch that. If you haven't watched that, go watch Bad
And then
Faith on
come back
Tubi.
up after you watch it. Please come back. I'm begging everybody. It's free. It's free. Just download Tubi. It's free. It's only an hour and 24 minutes. If you watch that, you know, in between working on subs, put it on your phone. Just watch that, and you're going to be amazed at what Republicans did to get the Christian vote.
You got to bring Moo and Sharon back up, then we can actually have an actual like conversation about
Let's do it.
Oh, they're always here. They're always
anytime,
here.
my friend. Anytime.
Yeah. They're always here.
Now that we know we can have a constructive, you know, debate and not, you know, kill each other.
I thought you were setting me up, my friend. I really thought you were going to try to do a gotcha, you know?
You're the fifth. You're about the fifth Republican or the Trump supporter that I've followed this week alone, because there seems to be a lot more lately of you know, people on the right or just people that are willing to sit and have conversations. This is something we're not used to, so it is refreshing. But April is trying to get out of here. April, thanks for having me up. I want to get out of here, so I'm not continuing to keep you. But bye, everybody, and follow me back, Blair.
Yep.
Now watch it, Blair.
Huh?
Watch it. It's amazing documentary.
Can I ask Moo something quick? Do you mind? 2 seconds. I promise.
Okay, 2 seconds. Hurry! I'm hungry, y'all. I got a
Moo,
sub waiting on me.
Do you like Vivek Ramaswamy? What are your thoughts on him?
No, I think he backed a medication that he knew was no good so that he could cash out on the American public, right? And that's why he has all that money. He's a scumbag, man.
Do you like him? Do you like him for policy at all? Yes or no? Not even a little
No,
bit?
I don't. I actually watched him on an interview with TYT. A lot of his foreign policy views would get us into big trouble.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
And I'll go deeper with you on that too.
Okay, we agree on that part. Okay, all right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
See you,
Thanks,
chat.
mods. Thanks, everybody.
Oh no,
Thanks
we're
for the
Sharon Hill.
gifts by me. Everybody have a great night.
Oh, I didn't follow Sharon. She's gonna yell at me. Good night.